Very well prepared here. All right. Looks like we should be live. All four of us. Everything's showing up. Two of us appear to be the same person. We'll get to that.
Yes.
I've got a bone to pick.
You got to delete the names so no one knows.
Oh no, we're leaving the names.
Like, why is Burly running the show?
Yeah, why is Burly on DEBO'S? What's going on here? All right, we have people showing up. I think we're working. What's happening, feeshin friends? Welcome to another live. Tonight we have an exciting episode. This is the first time I've ever had the old four banger working with four faces, four people. I'm excited to get it going because, of course, we have right below me the Randizzle. Randizzle, what do you know?
I got sunburned today, and I don't like it. My head's hot.
I love it. I love getting a little sunburn at the beginning of the year. Down in the bottom right, Mr. Burly, looking like Debo. We're gonna get to that. What's up, Burly?
Not much, man. Paul and I got our butts kicked today.
Yeah.
But we got wind whipped. I got windburn. I don't know about sunburn, but I definitely got windburn. Like my face.
You're looking pretty tan and bronze, pretty handsome down there.
It's the lighting. He's got like the tan
the ultra tan lighting.
Yeah, I don't know what you did, but that's looking pretty fresh.
I gotta make us look a little bit different, so I just add a little color there, you know.
the
Paul,
pale Debo.
Welcome to the channel. How are you, sir?
Thanks for having me and my pet duck.
Yes,
It's your pet duck.
I figured I
like
know
your
you
duck.
like to hunt and duck hunt, so I put the duck in your portion of the screen.
Perfect.
So what's up, everyone? We are excited tonight. I know I kind of posted a little bit of a misleading thumbnail because that's how you get views on YouTube, right? You post misleading clickbait stuff. I've said Burly's an imposter. So the story behind that is I was on his podcast / YouTube a while back, and I had seen his stuff before. Actually, some people had shared it and said, it's funny, you kind of look like this guy. And I checked out some of his stuff. That was when I first watched it. I'm like, that's kind of creepy. I do kind of look like him. I'm the fatter, older version that's not as in good a shape as him. But yeah, I see the resemblance. Yeah, him in probably 15 years when he lets himself go a little bit, he'll look like me, pretty much. So I kind of laughed, and we got to talk, and he actually hit me up and said, would you like to be on the channel? We do a podcast, weekly podcast. I was excited because I'm always thrilled when anybody asks me to be on. I'm just a guy who loves to fish, so it's a fun time. But he's like, yeah, actually, funny enough, people had said I look like you too. So we had both gotten both sides of it, so it was pretty funny. But we're not related. We do kind of look alike. Like I said, he's looking like a bronze stallion down there. I'm the pale, pasty version of us, I guess, tonight. But it's gonna be a fun show. So tonight, what I've got planned, of course, we're doing a giveaway. So I painted up a little jointed swim bait tonight. I don't know how well you can tell the colors. My colors are kind of jank. I'm gonna have to fix my lighting, but it's like a purplish black on top, fading into a blue, into a pearlish blue with some markings and such. But that's going to anybody tonight. So I had some people comment last time. Sometimes I do like it. If you donate tonight, I always appreciate anybody that donates. You're entered in the giveaway. But if you don't donate, people are like, well, hey, I don't want a pay to play giveaway. I want just a giveaway, right? So anybody can win it. I'm going to pick somebody at random. If you happen to be somebody who donated to the channel, I'm also going to throw in one of these babies. I did some springtime play on smallmouth craw. So it's like a smallmouth pattern with, you can't really tell it, but it's like a bright orange on the bottom into a red, green that I painted up. Just kind of a fun thing. So if you're somebody that donated, you're going to get both of those. If you're just somebody that I picked from random, you're getting the swim bait. So there, no pay to play tonight.
Nice.
But I'm
hot.
excited. Thank you, man. I've dabbled with the airbrush a little bit. I'm going to try to answer questions as we're going. Make sure to leave your questions over in the comment section. I'm going to check it. But tonight, since Burly has tried to steal my looks, my persona, tonight we're stealing their podcast, their show. We're stealing how they do it. So tonight we're starting with the Q of the D.
Yes.
If you guys haven't watched their show, make sure you check out Burly Fishing. Burly and Paul do a live every Thursday. Is it 8 Central, I believe?
8
Central. p.m. Eastern.
8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Paul, did you say Central?
I did. I said, yeah, you got it.
Paul doesn't know what he's talking about. That's all right. He's looking at the duck thing up there. Make sure to check out their channel, Burly. I'll leave a link after the video goes live. I will leave that in the comment deal below. You know how that goes. But Q of the D. So I was just thinking about some of these. Today's question of the day. What is one thing that scares you? No lying. We have to be honest. I learned that Randizzle's scared of hairy spiders.
Okay.
Come on, man.
That's fair. That's fair.
Do you like a hairy spider crawling on your leg? No.
I don't
nobody
mind
does.
spiders.
The question wasn't, do you like hairy spiders? That's what are you afraid of?
If there's a spider in the house, spiders don't bother me. I'll grab it with my hands. As long as I can verify 100% that it's not a black widow or a brown recluse, it doesn't bother me.
You look down and there's a hairy spider. What do?
I look to see if it's a brown recluse or a black widow.
Do we have to justify our fears?
No,
I'm not justifying mine.
No, not at all. I have to pick on Dizzle. I love him. Okay, so I'll go first. My fear, for the longest time, I was scared of sharks. I don't know why. The saltwater fishing and shark population in Iowa is extremely low. So I think it's a danger that I don't really have to worry about. For whatever reason, like, probably one of my greatest fears would be, and I think it was from watching, some of those World War II shows where a plane would go down or a ship would sink and the sailors, the Navy guys would be talking about, they would see guys getting taken down, they'd hear screams. I forget what the show was I watched, but like that to me is terrifying because there's really nothing you can do. Like this was at night. It was like a World War II ship sunk and literally you're just seeing guys get taken down. You're out in the middle of the nowhere. All you can do is really tread water and hope somebody finds you.
What did the guy Jaws say? The black baby doll eyes or something like that?
I think we need a bigger boat, is what he said.
Well, that was a different part of the...
No, there's only one part of that movie. I don't know if you know that. There is one line.
So that's me. Who's going next?
I'm going to go next.
Mine's Paul, get it.
Mine's hilariously irrational. Bees? Don't like them.
Really?
I'm like legit. I've gotten way better about it. I don't like flinch out of fear. It's taken a lot of personal training. I do not, and I don't like bees and needles. Those are like the two things that do not like at all.
What's your training regimen? Now that since you mentioned you've trained yourself for this,
so if I know the bee is coming,
if
I'm aware that the bee is coming. It's like I have to intentionally tell myself like, don't freak out. It's going to be fine. Don't freak out. And I won't. I'll just stand there and be like, I don't like you. This is fine. If I don't know it's coming now, when they buzz you, like they're intentionally letting you know, like I'm here.
Yeah.
That's like what my body perceives. And so I'm like, oh bro. And I just let them go. I do not like these.
It's funny how one thing to someone is like scary and ridiculous. Or is scary, but to the next person is like completely ridiculous. Like,
right?
What do you even,
Like I said, I'm not. There's no way to justify my fear. I know it's this big and can barely hurt me. I've been stung. I'm alive. I don't like them.
Perception is reality.
You're training.
No, I've gotten so much. When I was a kid, it was like, meltdown mode. But like, as I'm getting closer to adulthood by age, at least, I'm getting better. My key is becoming one with the bees.
I would say mine is just like open water, like very deep, very vast open ocean. So like those TikTok videos of the kids just like floating out in the ocean or like just free diving or going down those deep holes, like that just drives me.
Why do that? What's the point?
Exactly.
You don't get a medal.
There's literally nothing there. Like, what are you doing?
It's a lot of TikTok views.
Dude, I was watching one the other day. The kid like swam down and then he was petting tiger sharks. I was like, bro, why? Why are you doing this? Just like right on the nose. I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Then you hope that it just bites his arm off. I'm like, you deserve it.
So Debo is like, is Deep Blue Sea like a horror movie for you?
I've never actually got to watch. Is that the one with Wahlberg and
Samuel Jackson's in it. It's Thomas Jane is in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yes. No, I love that movie. Yeah, he's the Punisher. He took care of it.
Yeah, he took care of that shark, and also LL Cool J.
That's the
parrot. Yeah, and his parrot.
How
So
did the parrot survive?
'Cause he's a
underneath
chef.
the water?
first of all, that movie's a comedy. Second of all,
But for deep,
that's
I
not
don't
the
know.
same. It's not the same because it's
Yeah,
not
a comedy.
real.
Some of us that hurts our feelings. So
See?
come on.
To me, the hilarity of it, for example, is like Samuel L. Jackson's death. Like, just watch that part. It's the most
Oh my
absurd thing that happens, and you're just like, what? I remember seeing that in theaters, and I was just like, whoa.
That's
Like,
not even the most absurd Samuel L. Jackson
no.
moment with
Nope.
animals. He did Snakes on a Plane. Like, that's not even in the top 10 of Sam Jackson animal moments. Like,
that movie is also a comedy.
but also a horror movie for probably a lot of people.
It depends on how you watch it. You got to have like the right perspective going into it. Like, this movie is
sure.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I know this isn't going to be serious. Randall, how about you? What are you scared of?
Can I just do like a generalized? I don't like bugs. I'm just gonna say it. I don't like bugs.
That's fine. I get it.
It's
Earwigs
somebody.
freak me out. I wouldn't say I'm
Oh,
scared of them, but
God.
earwigs are just like dirty little. You go to move something, like
Oh.
7,000 of them fall out, and you're just
The
stomping
worst.
the ground like river dance. And
Oh my gosh.
Debo, I know you missed it because I think you were in the middle of talking, but up above in the chat somewhere, somebody said ticks.
I
Those are
wouldn't say
bad.
I'm scared of them, but like they literally make me itch and my skin crawls. And
Oh my God.
they
Like,
give me
I
the
went-
heebie-jeebies.
We've been fishing together for how many years now? Probably close to 10 years or so.
Yeah, 42 probably.
Yeah,
Something like
48 actually. So last year was the first time that I've ever gotten a tick on me. So I'm like sitting there and it was like,
Whoa.
man, my knee itches. And I'm
Yeah.
like, whoa, that hasn't been there before. And I look and you see those legs just like,
Ugh.
So yeah,
oh.
And then you feel like they're everywhere. Like you have to just go
Yes.
self-check because they're
Oh
literally
my
in your
God.
hair, in your arm, everywhere.
No.
that's the worst part.
Some-
Then you're paranoid
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. It's
Some
funny.
of us don't have
there
that
was some
hair
funny
problem.
stuff.
Yeah.
Bears freak me out. Let's talk about scary. Telling the wife I'm going to go fishing. Somebody said sycamore. That is scary. Honey, I'm going fishing tomorrow.
It's terrifying. Then when you have kids, it's more terrifying.
Oh yeah. I'm going fishing tomorrow. Can you watch the kids?
Bro, you just
It
have
only
to
gets worse.
You just have to accept it.
Yeah.
What else? Monkey. Somebody said gators are fine, but monkeys. Hey,
You got
I mean,
Are you in a place where there are gators and monkeys?
I don't know. Then what do you
Is it
do?
Yeah. Did they just jump
man.
on you?
Wasps,
I
Florida,
don't
right?
even know.
wasps
Clowns.
are horrifying. Wasps are
Clowns.
horrifying.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
They
of stuff.
look scary. I'm
Monkeys.
glad I'm not alone with the bees.
Oh man, the fun things you learn. Well, that's a fun question to start out with. You know, something you're scared of. But sometimes you don't. You know, you just have to sit back and think of that stuff. But so as per the Burly podcast, we're gonna get into the show me right away. This is usually Paul's deal.
Yeah.
You know, leaving the notes and kind of driving the conversation. You guys kind of get off. You call it right angles. I would call it side quests because they're not.
Ooh.
They help in the end. You know, it's
I like it.
amazing. So we'll probably get off on some side quests here going through this, but so for you guys, how about your fishing past? So for folks that don't know you, Burly and Paul, kind of what's your fishing past? What got you into it? You know, just kind of a quick, you know, elevator speech, 30-second deal of what's up. How'd you find fishing?
Essentially we're late bloomers when it comes to fishing.
Okay.
I had experience fishing when I was a kid. Like I was digging through some old pictures the other day and like came up with a picture of me 3 years old running down a dock, you know, with no pants on, and my dad's holding a pike. And like that was like the initiation. I did that. I bluegill fish for a little while, but I didn't really get into it too much because my dad did a lot of like the Great Lakes fishing, and he would just do sort of like downrigger stuff and like sit there, wait, reel things in. Like it just wasn't entertaining to me. So I kind of got out of it, drifted away.
Yep.
And this guy came into my life and we, you know, started our brotherhood with rugby in college. We went to Michigan State University and, you know, we started playing there. And I think it was like right. It was shortly after. No, I guess it was a couple of years after we graduated, right? Because you had like moved away and came back. So, you know, we were what, 20, 23, 25, somewhere in that range.
Ish.
Yeah, like I just got in this house that I'm in right now, and there's a little tiny lake like right over there. I fish it a lot in my videos. It's great or not great. It's very much, it'll slap you in the face most days, and then sometimes you catch 4.5 pounder on it. It's absurd, but he just goes like, "Yo, there's fish in that lake. We should go fishing together." Because I've been seeing him posting his pictures all the time, and I was like, "Dude, I want to get into this fishing thing. That sounds fun." And I had to like dust off my old Plano, like, you know, the tan and green.
Oh yeah.
Top. Oh yeah, I had that. I had all my grandpa's lures. I had an old Gander Mountain combo. Like, I was like, "Dude, I'm ready. I got this." Like, literally just covered in dust, blowing the, you know, just like a book in National Treasure. Just here we go. Let's do this thing. And we went out there, rigged up, just worms on a hook and bobber, man. Let's go. So we just cast them out there. We were wading in. We caught probably 30, 35 bluegill. Then we brought them back. We cleaned them all. We ate them. And that was like the starting of my love of fishing right there, or the reinvigorating, I guess you would say, of my love of fishing at that point. And after that, I just got obsessed and started like buying kayaks and way too much gear, and here I am now in this office.
That's the whole other addiction of fishing, right? You have the fishing side of it, fishing, and then you have like the gear stuff side of it. It's an addiction all in its own.
Yeah, my wife should have like snapped my first rod when she had the chance. Like, she messed up because
it didn't work.
We're like $48,000 later. Like, what else could you have bought?
Yeah.
I snapped your first rod after like our second trip. It didn't
work.
Yeah,
you did. So Paul, we went on a trip with our buddy Cooch, who like pops into our podcast from time to time. Like, he and Paul just slammed the rod in the back door of his truck, like, and then just stared at it for a little bit. You know that thing when you know you messed up and you feel really bad about it, but there's like nothing you can say. Like, you ruined the day. And he just looks at me, and he looks at the rod, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Bro, I'm sorry."
Yeah, what do you do? Sorry.
Just bought him another one.
Yeah, that dude, classy guy right there. Classy guy.
No, that was totally. He bought me another gander combo, and then I lost that. So I'm the problem here. I'm the problem. You. Yeah, I also folded a brand new Akuma rod in half yesterday or 2 days ago. Yeah, like, yeah, I can tell it. Don't worry. Dave Brown will be pretty mad, but like, you know how the tip of the Serrano is literally invincible. Like, one of my square bills caught my net fell overboard, and the rod just folded in half and was completely fine. I was landing a fish, and I was like, well, that sucks. And then was able to de-rig it. Everything was fine. It was like, great. And then I like folded the tip afterwards, like, wow, this is insane. And David talked it up a lot. And he said, yeah, that's not the only one that is like that. The one that's not like that is the Ceros rods, is how I pronounce it. I don't know how it's supposed to be pronounced, but the CERROS. So I was making a video, and I go like, look how durable these tips are. And I literally exploded the tip.
The best is, I was like, I'm watching the clip. I'm watching the clip, and he breaks it, and he's standing there, and he's holding both pieces. They're not together, and he's just staring. And like 3 seconds goes by, and she goes, "Oh."
Let me read the label. Oh yeah, this was not one of those.
I just go, guess not. My bad. So, yeah, things happen.
Oh, how about you? Did you fish since you were a young man, or are you a late bloomer too?
No, I'm late. I was late to the party on pretty much everything. Hunting and fishing. So my wife actually bought me my first fishing rod that was mine. Her family's had a place on Lake St. Clair on the Canadian side, for I guess this will be 2 generations now. Awesome. And the first time that I was going to go up there with her and the family, whatever, she's like, well, you have to have a fishing rod. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. So she bought me one for my birthday. And her dad actually was like the dude who was all about like getting the kids to fish and getting everyone else like just to kind of fish off the seawall, and hooked a couple of bass and caught a giant catfish like the second time we went up. And it was just like it was definitely an awakening for me, and it's probably an issue for my wife because it's turned into like pretty much my whole life, like between deer, ducks, and turkeys, and everything else that goes along with it, plus the fishing side of things. It's like that's it. I mean, that's the garage, the basement, this room, and half the rest of my house. So yeah, I am weird though. I like want to do everything myself, and I do not want like I don't want to go to like stock ponds, and I don't want to go to like places that people like where they know that things are good. Like I want to go to like
No, I agree.
I only hunt public land. Like I do all my own research on like garbage water, and I want to find like the only giant that's in it. And I'm okay with never having like I'm okay with not having a good day. Like that's fine for me. I'm fine going a whole season not getting a deer.
Yeah.
If it meant that I was doing it on my own.
Yep. It goes to the point where if like I'm catching and he's not catching, he'll literally drive away from me. and I might be like, hey man, they're biting on this. And he'll be like, I don't care. Don't even show me. If you show him, I'm like, hey, it was a Ned rig. He's like, no, shut up. And he just drives away. And then he refuses to throw it if you do tell him what it is. Because we were on like a super clear body of water and they were only eating the shark deuce. They were only eating the coppertruce Ned rig. They were only eating that. We threw everything and he refused to throw it. Refused.
That sounds 100% like us. So often I'll start getting them on the jig, and I will be like, I was a huge Ned rig guy like 3 years ago before Randizzle started getting me into the whole jig game, and it was the same way. Like he'd be catching them on the jig. He's like, why don't you do as Dizzle does and throw the jig? That's how I made a shirt of it. Do as Dizzle does, throw a jig. And I was so hard hit. I'm like, I do not want to catch them on something you told me to that you figured out. I'd rather just not catch anything and be sour about it. And the same goes for him. The other night, I started catching him, and he went up to the truck because he was cold. A guy that wears shorts in 40 degrees was cold.
When did I wear shorts in 40 degrees? This morning, and then it got like almost 80. We're good. We're fine.
He's like, it was 25. It wasn't 40.
There's snow on the ground. He's walking around in shorts, going, "Oh, I like shorts."
It was windy last night, man. Leave me alone.
So we did have a donation come in. Jesse G. I'm going to try to get to every one of these that I can. Jesse said, I just got on. What's the best sub $75 lefty bait casting reel, new or used?
Ooh.
That's kind of tough. I want one to keep in my truck and not cry over when it gets stolen here in California. Thank you for everything y'all do.
Wow.
Okay, so if you have a truck, I would say you can pretty well secure something behind the seat as like a two-piece. I'm not a two-piece fan, and I actually don't have a single two-piece casting rod. But I would say get a two-piece casting rod, keep it behind the seat where folks can't see it. The best sub 75, that depends because there's so many good deals out there. Like, I mean, you can any of the $100 reels, if you can find them on sale, the Luz LFS, Shimano SLX, Abu Garcia Revo X, any of those $100 reels with an aluminum frame that you can get for cheaper than $100, like $75-$80, that would be my call. There's a bunch of them out there, but I think that $100 price point is really where you start to step up what you're getting for your money versus just paying for fun bells and whistles that are, $200 and some bucks. So that's my deal. If you guys disagree, anybody, feel free to speak up. Open question.
Also, can you, like, if it's you're just saying a reel, are we saying a combo? Because like if you put the reel into like that little, there's a lot of lock boxes in a truck, I would assume any model, like just lock your reel up and leave the rod combo or just the rod if it's a two-piece or whatever in the back. I don't think anybody's stealing that. And if you're going cheap with it, like why would they steal it? That'd be a very specific thief.
95% of thieves want something that's easy. Any sort of resistance for any sort of thief is negated. Like they want something easy that they can see. So most of the time, if you keep it out of sight, out of mind type thing, if they walk by and see something, temptation's there. So one is hide it. Two is, I don't know, put it behind the seat.
So don't do like I do and like keep 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 rods just in my passenger seat with all the tackle right next to it. And that's a bad idea.
With a sign that says "Take one, please."
Yeah. Help yourself. Actually, the sign says "left-handed reels." Enjoy.
There you go.
And nobody. I leave it unlocked, windows down.
I'm like, where do you park?
Which we use lefties.
That's it. That's all I use.
Oh, look at that.
Exactly? Hey, Debo, how's it going up there in your upper?
I use both. Hey, I go both ways. With my
I saw you
rods,
casting. I
with
saw
my
you cast a
reels
lefty.
and rods, I can use left or right. Let me
Dude,
specify.
We did a casting video where we were like messing around in a gym, like testing out 5 or 6, reels. And one of them was I think it was a Saros.
It was the Serrano.
The Serrano. Thank
combo. It was right-handed because
it was right-handed, and I was like such a dork. I was like, what do I do? Like,
it takes a while. It feels completely backwards. Yeah. So the funny thing is, I boxed and did mixed martial arts, Muay Thai as a lefty. I'm a righty, but like a lot of things, like I bat left-handed, I ride a skateboard left-handed, I box left-handed, but I write right-handed. So like it's so weird because most of my power, like confident stuff, is left foot forward.
Yeah.
But everything else is like my right hand.
That's messed up because I struggled to tackle with my left foot forward.
Yeah.
Even
I'm left foot forward on everything, but yeah, it's I don't know. It's to each their own, man. It goes by feel, right? So like
I'm sorry, right foot forward, right hand. Usually it's always left foot forward.
Oh, I got you.
I'm goofy. So right foot forward, left-handed fighter. My bad. I get my directions mixed up.
I just think it's funny when you see these guys like baitcaster, right hand retrieve, baitcaster, and then there's no problem picking up a spinning rod that's left hand retrieve.
Right. Exactly.
I was that way for a long time. Always.
I have to switch it.
Always. I don't know why. I used a left-handed spinning reel and a right-handed baitcaster. And if I tried to switch to a left-handed baitcaster before, like 4 years ago, I literally felt like I couldn't even reel. I was like,
that's exactly the move.
Happening?
You're like, that's how I felt. Like they're like, write your name with your toes. You're like, wait, what? No,
yeah, exactly. Write your name with your left hand.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm Michael Jordan. There, I did it.
Yeah. All right. We did have a question come in from Alejandro. This is an important one. Hey, Dizzle, what would you do if someone sent you a spider and a clamshell?
Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna say I've taken my Red Gills bag out a couple of times so far this year. The only thing that's bugging me is the plastic storage, and today it was, I would say, 98% clamshell's fault. If it wasn't for clamshell and the stiffer like Tackle Warehouse, Mafia, Bass Mafia plastic bags to put all your plastics in, it would have been fine. But those darn clamshells, man, come on, why clamshells?
Perception is reality. If you had a bag where you could only store things upright, you would be singing graces to the clamshells.
I would find a different bag.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I would put all those baits in my cargo short pants.
Can I say here's my gripe with clamshells.
Oh my God, Paul!
No. I have a very
this is old man Paul. You don't want to let him get on this.
I'm on a soapbox now. I don't care.
Curly tail grubs that I don't.
That's exactly right. How are you supposed to keep it? No. Yeah. What gets me about clamshells is that they're not uniform in how they're done. So like ammo containers, they're all the same. All of them are the same. Clamshells, they're all different. Every single brand has a different one. I understand there's different shapes, but they're not even the same, even rough size.
Yeah. And
I struggle. So like rabbit baits, I love playing with those baits. I love having them around for when I specifically want that bait. I don't like having that bait in my container because it does not fit conveniently in a lot of containers. It's so long.
Yeah.
And
dude, the 6 inch flush, that clamshell is the biggest.
It makes no sense.
The crabs that Debo sent me, biggest clamshell.
Yeah. Well, and like big bite baits, they'd have some like really like 4 or 5 inch swim bait plastics, and they're twice as big as they need to be.
Yep.
And it's just, if they were uniform size, I'm with Debo, but they're not, and so sometimes I'm kind of not in.
Well, I mean, hey,
I'm hit and miss.
Fine. Yeah, we'll have to agree to disagree on this one. It does depend on the circumstance. I get it, but I don't know. Alex Heimberger dropped a comment, and this is something that is valuable. So he said, "I've broken a few 2-piece spinning rods, never a 1-piece. Heard better sensitivity if it's a 1-piece too." So that is kind of a give and take. So the reason I personally don't like 2 pieces is, one, I've casted off the front half of my 2 pieces a number of times, and I just don't like to mess with it. I don't like to have to line stuff up. I just like to pick it up and go. However, if you have a car or an SUV or, a small SUV or something where you can't fit the stuff, a two-piece is kind of a necessity. As far as the sensitivity, it's debatable. I personally think a one-piece is overall more sensitive, but if you fish like a two-piece spinning rod with braid, I don't know that you can tell the difference. I mean, if there's a few, lines and lures that you use, maybe, but I don't know. I think a lot of it's just a preference deal. Paul, let me guess. Paul, what's?
I just have a very small, little, tiny counterpoint, which is fly rods are 4 pieces. I have a lot of them. I've never broke one. They are unbelievably sensitive, and it's all about quality and construction. That's just my deal. I would actually, one of the things that I really want to do is I want to test out some of those the Akuma's travel rods, because they make the exact same. They're made out of the exact same blank. They're 4-piece. They're the exact same rod as the one that you buy in a 1-piece. And I would really like to do a side-by-side on that for like a whole season and figure that out. There are also some tricks with 2 pieces. If you just wet the insert before you put them together, that is not coming off.
Does it create like a suction?
Yeah, period, the end. It's just not. And they actually come off pretty easy. I've been fly fishing the same amount of time that I've been conventional. I've never, ever, ever had a piece come off, and I'm false casting 4 times as much as a normal person's conventional. So I just want to throw that out there.
That's true.
I like the open ferrule design too. Like when that open ferrule, because it inserts further into each piece. Those definitely come off a lot less, and I feel like it's a stronger connection. You get more feel with those too. And yeah, like Akuma makes those. There's a bunch of other brands out there that are starting to make those too. So you can find a 4-piece person with truck earlier that wanted to travel also, and not have things stolen, because it'll package up into a little deal you put under the seat. It's not visible.
I do prefer 1-pieces though. Like 80% of my rods, I have like 2 or 3 2-pieces and then a bunch of fly rods. So I like 1-pieces. I think like mathematically they probably are like 0.01% more sensitive, but I just like 1-pieces for everything Debo said. But if you get right down to it, I think a quality 2 to 4 pieces, it's probably going to be indistinguishable.
Okay, here we go. A couple side quests here. Sorry to jump in. So Josh Lee said, I thought we were talking about breakages. Well, for me, this is kind of a game of numbers. Like, because I don't use as many 2-pieces, I don't know that I've broke a 2-piece, but that's because 2-pieces consist of 0.1% of everything I use. 1-pieces, I think last year I broke 4 rods, maybe 5, and that's pretty much each year. And it happens. You go through them. I don't baby my stuff.
You tend to make a lot of 2-pieces.
What?
You make a lot of 2-pieces.
I make a lot of 2-pieces.
It's like
Randy.
You want a 2-piece?
Can we clarify what we mean by break?
Yeah.
Like, are we talking about like jamming it into a rod tube and snapping the tip, or are we talking about fishing?
Let's see. Last year, the biggest fish I caught last year, I broke trying to swing it up like a 4-foot embankment.
Oh, yeah.
Snap the tip. One I dropped and broke multiple guides. What was the one in the beginning of the year?
Can I just say rod shouldn't explode when you accidentally drop them.
The rod didn't. The rod was fine.
Well, it was the guides that exploded.
Eyelets are, hey, dude, that's the give and take. You get more expensive eyelets. An alkanite and aluminum oxide guide is tough, but may not be as slick and resistant to being cut by braid with silt and that kind of stuff into it. You get up to the Sick and Torzite. They may be 1,000 times more slick, but they get more brittle. So it's kind of like a give and take with rods. You get a 24-ton rod can hold up to a ton of stuff versus you get up to like a 40-ton, and if they don't put it together right, it's super brittle. So
I'm just going to go ahead and say I have no idea what you just said. I'm going to stick with what I said and saying that if you drop a rod, it shouldn't break.
It shouldn't blow up.
A lot of Spanish. Don't break rod on ground.
Okay. You're right.
do not break rod on ground.
I agree with you, but I mean, cement. Okay, somebody else asked, I forget where it was, but do we use line conditioner? 100% of the time I use line conditioner when I spool them up. After that initial spool, I don't ever put it on again. I'm horrible at reapplying. I just don't ever do it. I have one sitting next to me in my spooling station, but
What do you use?
I've used the KVD stuff. Right now I've got the Real Magic that I got from Wally World because I ran out of the other stuff. And I actually just got some that you'll see in an unboxing. This stuff, I happen to have it right next to me. How convenient. Braid Aid? I've never heard of this, but they said it's supposed to be better than KVD line conditioner. It comes in a fancy bag, high performance, extends casting distance, reduces casting line noise, line lays flatter on your reel. And it's got a professor on the top of it.
Real fast, I think I maybe got one of the original Real Magics, and on it,
we already talked about this. They said not for
no fluorocarbons. Is that saying don't spray it on fluorocarbon, or is that saying it doesn't produce fluorocarbons as you spray it? I threw it away because I was scared either way.
So. That means you weren't supposed to use it on fluorocarbon because that was
on your list of things you were scared of.
Yeah, that was made out of
original Real Magic is terrifying.
Don't spray pure asbestos on fluorocarbon; it's bad. They fixed the formula.
Like I assumed if you sprayed it on there, it was gonna be like spaghetti when you cook it, and they all just clump together. I was like, that's my line now. That's what I have to deal with. Spaghetti line.
I don't know. Some people said we need Manscaped. I do need Manscaped. I'm a hairy individual. I've got hair everywhere. So
let it grow, man. Let it grow.
You're not going to see him on my channel. TJ Tackle Junkie said, "What up, big dogs?" Jim, what's up, my guy?
What's up, man?
What up? What up? What else do we have? A couple questions rolling in. Leave some more questions. Put some fishing questions over on the side. I know we've got off tangents, but tonight's just a fun fishing and everything else. Try to get to know all of us. So back to Show Me. We've completed a few side quests, which was fun.
And we're back.
We started out with your fishing past. How about present? Let's go with what's one of your favorite baits for folks that don't know you guys. For me, you guys know me. Frog. Frog is probably my number one favorite to fish. I wouldn't say it's necessarily my most productive or something I would always have on me, but if I could choose one way to catch fish, it would be on a frog. Second would probably be spinnerbait, just because it's my all-time confidence lure ever. Like I love throwing spinnerbaits. That was my first confidence lure when I was younger. Third, out of necessity, I think I would say a Texas rigged soft plastic with like a 1/4 ounce weight on it. So if you've got those three, you can pretty much tackle about anything. Randall, how about you?
I mean, the first,
we know yours.
Come on. I think all three of those are probably going to be answered by Jig. I feel as if I could just do Jig.
We all know that jigs are a planet of and to themselves. So, like, what planets do you like to live on?
What are your favorite moons?
Football, swim
around
jigs.
the jig?
Like, what planets are we? Are we looking at moons? What's going on?
Yeah, what are the moons?
if I'm gonna go ahead and dive headfirst into the shallow end, underspins have been like a go-to. I always have an underspin tied on, and I would probably say some sort of crankbait. I don't remember, sorry, Debo, what the questions were, but I think a crankbait just works, especially for me, small town Iowa kid growing up on a river. I'm going to throw some crankbaits, throwing it off that chunk gravel on the chunk rock on the side. Dude, that is just so much fun. You're feeling that tunk, and then all of a sudden you don't feel anything, and you got a mean old smallmouth under the lure. So,
mean old smallmouth. Oop, you went all robotic.
Pepper, Smalley.
Being smallmouth.
There we go. I think you're back.
Harry Spider.
Harry Spider and a clam shell.
Oh my god!
All right, Paul, take it away. How about you?
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like not the best person to ask.
You're not allowed to answer.
My favorite
1984 Rapala lipless.
There you go. Anything balsa.
Let me see if I can guess them. Rebel Pop R, Curly Tail Grub, Head and Torpedo.
Yes, dude, you're getting very specific. You're hitting the high points.
Scary.
Old school cream pre-rigged worm. with the hooks already in it.
That's number
I
5.
haven't seen him throw this.
I like the one that's 1 inch with 3 hooks in it.
Yes, those are
Way
the
better
ones.
hookup ratio.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you know how many of those you find on the river just hanging from trees?
Oh,
those
God.
are everywhere.
It's a Wally World special.
Split shots or a bobber with a worm hanging off.
Yep.
Split shots with a swivel.
Yes.
I think so. I would definitely say you hit some of my all-time favorite baits for sure. Like head and torpedo. I have every size and like every color, and I only bring 2 or 3 with me because I'll get into the danger zone with it once the sun starts to go down. I just love that bait. I don't know why. Good old tinny rattle. But I think my favorite type of bait is a jerk bait. I like fishing it year round. That's probably my all-time favorite. And I just find it to be very fun to catch fish. Like I just think it's awesome. And I also like that it leads to using like a medium or like medium fast rod, because like that's just I have a ducket triad, and like I could live just walking around with that thing. It's just my favorite way to fish. Number 2 is like crankbait. Like I feel like I can take almost any situation, like make a crankbait bite happen. Yeah, and honestly, that's like it. Like everything else is great. I love top water. You could put Rebel Pop R. You can put that as my just number 3.
It's close for me too, and it has to be the Rebel Pop R. Baby bass color for me is.
Yes, 100%. And it has.
Go ahead.
I like mine on an ultralight. Yeah. I run mine on like a legit 4.5 foot ultralight, and I've never had more fun in the river in my life, and I don't think it's possible.
I love it.
I don't have it by me. I think I actually have one since I've had since I was a kid, but it's
really?
not in this box.
Wow.
Burly, how about you? Ned rig? I'm guessing Ned rig is one.
What's a Ned rig? Never used one. Sounds cool. Yeah, I would say if we're going by favorites, definitely agree on the frog. Ever since I started figuring those things out a couple years ago, frogs all day would be number 1. It's just the most fun thing in the entire world forever.
Like a hollow body?
Yeah, right? Hollow body. Okay. Yep. Yeah, just big old hollow body frog. Like I will never get over that bite ever in my life. So I'd say that square bills, Ned rigs. That's like my top 3. Like square bills on the river got to be my favorite thing in the world to do, because I just go right on the stumps, just like every single lay down, all the trees, all the stuff. I'm just like ripping through the nastiest things, and then you just feel the weight on it. I'm like, yes.
Even old Randall and I just became best friends right there. You're gonna start shaving your head and growing out your beard now.
Looks like I got a new Debo.
I'm gonna grow it out a little bit more.
Oh man. Okay, so we got a question coming in. Dennis Turner, what types of lures and colors would you recommend for muddy water? Well, going back to my spinnerbait days, I don't get a ton into the blade stuff just because I've had so much good luck on willow blades for about any occasion. But the one change that I do make is in really muddy, dirty, chocolate milky water, especially cold water, a big Colorado bladed spinnerbait. For me, that's a big one for me. Obviously, like a chatterbait. A lot of guys now will talk about the chatterbait, but I don't know. How about you guys? Anything to add?
I mean, we didn't figure that out today. So let me just say, we were fishing a lake today and we got just obliterated. I caught like a 2.5 pounder within 10 minutes of being there. And then we fished for 4.5 more hours and nothing happened. And it was a lake that has just like these 2.5 to 4 foot flats, like these coves that are just the entire rim of this lake is that. And then there's these big cove areas that are gigantic and they're all flat. But there's no cover right now. Like nothing is grown in. The water was 44 to 40. No. Yeah. There's nothing. So we were fishing jerk baits. I caught my first on a dark colored jerk bait, like a 110 size. And, that was awesome. And I was like, cool. But like one fish is, not a pattern. So it's a coincidence. So we're like, all right, maybe it's jerk baits. So we fished those for a while. Then we're like, it's not jerk baits. So then we fished literally everything else. We were throwing chatterbaits. We were throwing square bills. We were thinking it's cold water. Let's go slow. And then we fished the bottom. It's like a really mucky bottom. So then we went off the bottom. We did Tokyo rigs. We did drop shot. We ran down, like when we did our outro, we recorded a video of the day.
It was a joke.
It was a joke. We literally fished everything in the boat. It was absurd, but like we tried the chatterbait for a while. I even threw like the 13 fishing jabberjaw, which is a chatterbait square bill, which is absurd.
I haven't thrown that yet. Yeah, it looks sweet.
It's actually really cool. I like it a lot. It's got a more erratic action than a normal square bill. The lip does move. It's not like a heavy chatter like you would expect by the marketing of it. It's not a heavy chatter. It's very subtle, actually. But it suspends. It's a suspending square bill. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's ridiculous. So you can do a lot with that. That's more of why I like it than the whole bill thing. It actually suspends.
Like
so
with
weird.
some interest.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for it. When it suspended the first time, I was like, is it going to come up? Like, what's happening? So confused.
We've had a ton of wind here the last like 4 days, and I went and fished for an hour. And I wasn't even going to fish. I was actually just going to test out a fix on my kayak.
And it's been 15 to 20 mile an hour winds, right? Like it's not, we're not saying 5 mile an hour, little bluster. No, it was 20 miles an hour.
Gust of 87.
It's just not good. But so I went out last weekend just to test a quick fix, and it was kiddo nap time, so I knew I had a couple extra minutes, and I actually encountered this like situation that we're just talking about, which is like incredibly muddy water, and it's just a bunch of bowls. And it was a place I'd never fished before, so I and my electronics are dead on my boat, so I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know the depth. I didn't know anything. And this is the order that I went in. It's a big open, like we're talking 40-yard kind of bowls, and it comes all the way up to like 6 inches deep in between. And the order I went in was I went square bill, like really dark, like black and red, and it was chocolate milk. I mean, you couldn't see more than a foot down. I went square bill right around the edges, caught nothing, no interest. Also didn't hang up on anything. And so the next thing I did was an all black matte lipless. The 6 cents lipless, which is actually kind of a finesse. I probably should have gone with something louder, but it's kind of finessey. I caught a chunk while I was on the phone with Jeff, actually, after about 15 minutes. The only reason I bring that up is like,
were you extremely close to something, or were you extremely shallow? One of the two.
Well, that was the thing. So I was targeting little pockets of wooded area, because the thing about dark water is like, you have to get right on them. And that's why we're talking about, when you talk about a Colorado blade, it's a big, heavy thump. Mm-hmm. And that's like a calling card, something a fish can key in on. That's why people talk about chatterbaits. Something that a fish can key in on, because those fish can't see either, and they're being predated on. So if they don't know that it's safe to go out and hammer something, they're probably not going to go out. If it's close by, they're much more likely to go out and get something. So when you don't throw something that's easy to key in on and very obvious, if you're not right on them, you're not catching them. And so it really depends on, like, DEBO'S question is important, because like if you don't know where the fish is probably going to be, like Jeff's talking about hitting stumps, if there's not like a big piece of cover that you're targeting and you think there's a fish there, you want to go something more like a spinner bait. If you think you know where the fish are, go with something that's loud. I like something very dark because it can be silhouetted, and it's something that you want to give the fish something to key in on that's maybe a little bit more subtle than like a chatterbait. But like you're giving the steak to right where they need to see it for them to eat it. That's why dark water's hard too. Let's be clear, it's not easy.
Yeah, muddy water's tough, and like a lot of times, especially when you've got cold, muddy water in the beginning of the season, fish will generally go shallower than they normally would in clearer, cleaner water. They're going to be tighter to the banks in dirtier water, and they're going to be right on stuff. So whereas you might be able to catch a fish 3 foot off it, rolling a willow bladed spinner bait and, kind of dirty water. If it's muddy stuff, they might be nose on it, right up in there where you need a little bit of extra thump or something. So, like Paul was saying, more thump versus something finesse. And where'd you catch it? Like, did you say? I'm sorry if you did.
Not even 2 feet. It was a really, really steep drop, and there were logs, classic Michigan, logs coming right into the water. Lipless, maybe 2 or 3 feet off that. So I think I let it drop right down there, and then I gave it the yo-yo away from it, and then let it fall all the way till I knew it was on bottom, and then that's almost right exactly when I got hit. Nice.
Couple other side quests before I get in. And anybody who's jumping on, I see we have over 200 people in now. I appreciate that, guys. I am giving away a DEBO custom right there. Little jointed bait for anybody. And if you happen to be somebody who donates, you're going to get both of them, the old red, green, smallmouth fun deal that I did. So that way you don't have to donate to win. But if you donate, I'm just going to give you a little extra something. So I appreciate you.
Bonus.
Okay, couple questions. So James Pisano said Shimano SLX or Daiwa Fuego. I get that question a lot. They're both great reels. To me, I think that a magnetic brake bait caster is easier to start with if you're somebody who's not comfortable with them. I would say Fuego. If you're comfortable with bait casters and you've used them a while, I think the Shimano SLX is great as well. I was going to say it did a lot better with lighter lures, but me and Randizzle tested it, and it was actually toward the bottom. I've still got the sheet.
Wow.
It didn't do the greatest, but I would have put it as like one of the best lighter bait casting reels as far as in that like $100 down category. But
yeah,
I don't know. I still like the reel though. Either one, honestly, you're not going to go wrong. I think the Fuego is a little bit easier to dial in. But
have you tried the XT?
Yeah, yep, I've got the XT. Yeah.
What do you think about that versus the SLX?
I like it. I think they're both very close to being the same.
Yeah.
I don't notice a huge difference. They say you can dial in the SLX XT a little more since it's got the dual brakes, but
yeah,
we get people
all the time, literally dying by the XT.
They're like, "Show me the sword. I'll
They're
jump."
like
on
SLX
it.
trash, XT
Really?
amazing.
All the time.
All day, all
I would
day.
say
I'm
the
not
XT
disparaging those people. It's just we get it.
No,
a ton.
I want to know if the chat feels that way. Yeah, we get it all the time. Anytime I'm like SLX or this thing, they're like, yeah, just get the XT. It's $20 more. I'm
so
like,
the only difference between the SLX and the XT is the extended brake. So the SLX has the VBS versus I forget what they call it on the XT, but it's got like the additional dial on the bottom. Otherwise, from what I know, they're the same thing. The SLX XT feels a little sturdier in my hand, I want to say.
sure.
I don't know that there's a difference though. I would have to grab. I think I have both of them over there. Maybe I'll do a video on that. But to my knowledge, yeah, the only difference is the additional brakes. And I forget what Shimano calls those with the. I guess I could look it up real quick. But
the SLX with spool speed bearings is the most ridiculous thing I've ever cast in my life. I just want you guys to know.
Is it going down to the back end?
Down to the back end. Randy and I always joke about that because so I've actually had the chance to meet Scott over at Spool.
Oh yeah,
super nice guy. I will stand behind him. So I was at Bassmaster Classic. It's been a few years ago, but I stopped at a few booths, and a few of them were pretty like persnickety. Like I would ask questions, and they were like, "Here's the stuff." Like I was a thorn in their side. Like, what the hell, man? Like
you're at a table.
Yeah.
To answer. Question.
What your job as a marketing sales specialist to sell me?
Were you putting a camera in their face, or you were just there?
No camera, just old Debo asking them questions.
Wait, hold on. This was long beard, long hair Debo, though.
This was long hair Debo. Yeah.
That's the dude you answer, because otherwise you're getting karate chopped into yesterday. Okay, don't even tell me that's an excuse.
They mistake me for John Wick. We're basically clone copies of each other.
I'm just literally nervous.
Hide your dogs.
You can see way too much. You know where I live. How do I hide?
Yeah. Scott was like the complete opposite. I'd never met him, and I walked up. He's like, "Yeah, grab some of the stuff, try it out." A couple of my buddies wanted to talk to him, but we always joke about it because Scott's always like, "Check out this reel. I got this, blah, blah, blah." Ving! And it's like, he's showing the spool. He's like, boom, down to the back end. So that's like we always joke about that.
Dude, that is awesome.
So Scott, if you're watching, I still love you, brother. But yeah, he was a super nice guy. I don't work with him or anything. I'm not sponsored by him. He's just a nice human. So I appreciate Scott.
We don't work with them either. I just thought, like, when I did that upgrade on the SLX, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like the thing I've noticed with aftermarket bearings is not necessarily like the distance you get, because the distance isn't huge, but like the ease of casting, you can definitely tell the difference. Like you just barely flip it. It's like, wee. It might go the same distance, but that's the big thing I've seen.
When you said like lighter lures, like, yeah, I can throw much lighter lures. I can flip and pitch with it a lot more easily. It's pretty night and day. It's pretty ridiculous.
Let's see. I was going to look up on the XT. I forget what the difference is. Maybe I'll just do. They say the SVS Shimano's upgraded SVS and infinity braking system with what? We're getting nerdy. We're getting into the nitty gritty here, but I don't know.
I just want to say I'll take the Shimano over the Daiwa because
that doesn't count. Randy doesn't. So Randy, and I get it. Okay, I get it. So we're gonna expose a couple things here. So Randy had a bad experience with Daiwa, and he's ever since not really been a Daiwa fan, right?
That's
and
correct.
And that's, I get it. And I think I've told the story. I said I would never tell it, but I did. I had a couple bad experiences with Pfluger President reels. Like they have been, the praises have been sung, and they're like a couple, people say they're the best budget spinning reel ever, right? That you can find.
Sure.
And I bought one, it pooped out. I tried to take it back. I actually called Pfluger, and they said, hey, that's not our problem. You have to talk to Gander Mountain, which is where I bought it. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like your name's on it. So I took it back to Gander Mountain. It was past the 30-day thing, and they're like, hey, that's not our problem. So I'm like, you know what?
We're not even a business anymore.
Well, yeah,
we don't even exist. We're Camping World.
The Gander
Camping World.
Just so everybody knows, the Gander deal on the that you could buy, it was $30 and you got a lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I did that on tons of stuff that I bought for them, and they stood by that. So I just want to throw that out there because it was legit.
But they died.
Nobody does. Yeah. I did it, and I literally
$30 gone now, nerd.
I did the one piece tournament rod that they did, the carbon one, and I shoved it into my
a 3.
Yeah, turned it into a 3-piece, just like.
Okay, hold on, let me interrupt you quick. I said this on Burly's. Oh, and it went away. Oh, we had another donation come in. I was going to grab it quick. Oh,
it was Jeff Lauer.
It was Jeff Lauer. Yeah.
I said this on Burly's Instagram. 3 of my favorite YouTubers. 4 with Dizzle tonight. Great night, Debo. Best not to tie braid to fluoro. For me, I'm an Alberto guy. Alberto knot all day. I stand by it. It's one of the easiest to tie, and it's the strongest. That's my go. Anybody want to object?
Double uni just because I'm a nerd. Yeah. I'm not objecting.
We're not objecting at all. We usually do double unis, and I haven't had one break ever. So.
That's my. It's like if it ain't broke, that's just where I am. Like I know how to tie it. I do it quick. I don't think about it. I use an Alberto when I fly fish because there's a version of it that I tie. But it's just that's just what I do now. No objection whatsoever. Either one is fine. You could toss a coin. I wouldn't care.
Oh, Randall, what do you tie for your connection knot?
Pass.
The one with the bunnies with the ears where you go
straight braid. Yeah. Straight braid.
I'm a straight braid guy. I don't know how many times I've tried to tie a connecting knot, and whatever it is, a double uni. There was what was it, the double surgeon's knot? I tried a couple of times.
Surgeon's knot's actually and I don't know, mentally does not take a lot of gymnastics. It's pretty easy.
It's a really easy
or anything.
100%. Yeah, and it's like I don't have to have 6 people help me tie the knot, and it doesn't matter what it is. It seems to break off. I don't know what it is. I'm doing something wrong. So
do you catch fish?
Every once in a while.
Just say yes. Just say yes.
I mean, we
fish straight
braid a lot of the time. A lot of the time we were fishing straight braid. When it's as chocolate milky as it is right now with spring runoffs, we just go straight braid. It doesn't even matter because you have to hit a fish in the head anyways. So, but when it clears up, even when it's slightly stained, we've noticed that when, as you guys know, throw on especially with jerk baits or the more clear water techniques, you throw on that floral leader, it's night and day. But if we're jigging or a lot of times we're in the river, it almost doesn't matter at all.
So let me.
I'll can I just
net let me just ask you guys. You talked earlier about the difficulties of fishing a super muddy water versus a super clear water. I would take muddy over clear any day. Today, me and Debo ran into gin clear water everywhere, and it just felt like everything that we did was wrong. versus you. I feel like
that was
you
because
can
there was
cheat
like
a little bit of
17
money.
people there that beat that beat before we even got to it. So
Yeah.
Sure, but
every
in
place we went
general,
to today, apparently it was family day at every place that Debo and Dizzle goes to.
Yeah.
I'm all for families getting out and fishing, but when you're trying to film a video and fish, wait till later to go out, people. Family time should be later in the day.
Bro, we booked this. DEBO'S coming in at 10:30. What are you doing?
Dude, just blaze through their picnic, just roll right on by. I would just be like, "What's up, feeshin friends?" and just
Hey,
like
what's
dip
up,
into their
friends? Kick their stuff in the water. Get out of my way.
pick up their sandwich, just eat it.
they're gonna see us catching a few fish, and they're just gonna come up on the jetty with us and be like, "Oh, hey, sorry if we elbow you out of the way here. We're gonna."
Oh yeah, they'll go right next to you. They'll be like,
Debo,
"Oh, what
Debo.
are you throwing?" And they'll be like, "Oh, we don't have that."
You're gonna come up with a kid that's got a really solid kick in the back, and you're gonna be like, "That was my move."
That one kid that has a good teeth pick is gonna just straight punt me in the water.
Dude, yeah, I would say like so muddy. I got nothing against muddy water as long as it's well over 55 degrees. Like,
Oh yeah,
if it's over 55 degrees all day, but yeah, 46-degree muddy water today was a literal nightmare.
That's rough.
It was worse.
We did have another donation come in. Pima 623. Am I the only one dining and dashing after Easter dinner to fish tomorrow?
Nope.
Well, I wish we could, but I'm gonna be gone. So yeah.
I called in sick for Easter dinner tomorrow.
I think you mean texted in sick. You never call for that.
Yes,
Currently not feeling very well.
Sorry, Mom. Oh God, I just don't feel good. I'm sorry. Mom, don't watch
cough.
Sick face emoji.
Yeah.
I'm going at some point tomorrow. Paul, you said you were lying.
Nap time, man.
Oh, you are?
Nap time is a magical hour.
Yeah, Paul's had a streak lately. He did you caught the one in the chocolate milk the other day, right? Mm-hmm. When you were on the phone with me, so you can't say that I'm bad luck. We talked about this today. But like every time we've gone out together, it's been like a skunky day.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Like I'm
watching you like slowly erode as a man, like as a human, as a human man.
Away. It's so bad. As a human man, dude, it's not good. It's one of those things where it's like, when you don't bass fish like you traditionally, like you're kind of like you think about your ice fishing, right? Yeah. And you go from like, January to late Feb, like ice fishing, hard water. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I'm bass fishing, which is great. But you've gone like 4 or 5 months without bass fishing. So like my confidence is not like, yeah, like I'm good at this.
Yep.
And then you're on the kayak, the weather's crap. It's like the water's in the low 40s and you're just not getting after it. It's like, it's hard to get in the boat and be like, I'm going to jack jaws all day.
I still try to think that though.
Well, obviously, I'm just saying it's not as easy.
I can't wait to come up with that 45-inch pike today.
But then you have 2 or 3 bad days, right? Yeah. Where you get skunked, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh my god.
But you caught the one the other day, so you've got your first open water bass of the year.
I feel better.
You can, and that was in cold, muddy water. So I mean,
it's not like I can't fish. I look back on the day and I literally think to myself, I'm like, I did all the things that I would tell myself to do. And that's all. That's like I go home and I'm like, that's fine. Like I'm fine with it. But then you get in the boat the next day and you're like, am I really going to jack any jaws today?
You have to be okay with it. Fishing is one of the quickest things besides MMA. Like I did MMA for 13 years. Yeah, and you want to talk about getting humbled. You walk into a new gym with a bunch of guys that you look at them and you're like, I think I'll do pretty good. You'll get humbled pretty quick. Fishing is the same way. Like, you go to a new spot and you're like, I think I'll do pretty good.
2 real quick things. Number 1, Debo actually did humble me one day and actually caught me from falling face down on the concrete. But the second is the biggest thing about what you guys are saying. No, not in the concrete part where the padding ended. Never mind.
Wow.
The other thing is like
semantics.
The important thing is hour, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. You got to just go and do it. It's not the perfect conditions hard water. It's not the perfect conditions open water, dude. For me, I would rather go sling a lure around for 30 minutes than like sit and stare at my phone or, do things like that. I want to get out and fish, man. Just being
Fishing's a
out
game of
there
numbers.
it's my zen. It's like my release to like get rid of all of the bad stuff throughout the day, because one of these fish is going to take my jig, and sorry, buddy, it's going to hurt for you because I'm going to set the hook.
We're going to the moon.
Yeah, the way Paul has been setting his hook on trees and rocks lately has been absolutely absurd.
Hey, I stand behind
into
Paul on
next
that.
century. I do too. I do too. It's just
anything to set a hook. Paul, keep swinging. Swing for the fences.
I'm Gary Sheffield out there. I will dig myself all the way
every
through.
time.
I will dig my heel.
I'm going back
straight down.
to barrel on signs.
Dude, I'm pulling for you, bro. I love to see it. Every time you do it, I'm just like, no. Right.
So am I. If I didn't think it was,
I know you are, obviously.
Also, when it's a 4-inch and you got like a 4-aught swim bait hook on there, I mean, you can't not. Like, what are you gonna do? Be like, oh, pink, did I get one? No, bummer. Pink. Like, no, you have to you gotta give them the juice.
Rand Dizzle said the same thing. You always have to swing like they're a 10-pounder because you never know. The next fish could be your PB. That's the fun thing about fishing is you literally never know.
Or it's gonna be a burbot.
You send a Debo dink into the next century.
Or we're going to the moon.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta say sorry to him either way when you do that, though.
Yeah, we apologize, so it's funny. Side quest, Fluger President. I'm saying one of the best budget spinning reels is the Daiwa Laguna. It's like a $30. This isn't even showing. I can't focus. My life's in shambles right now. Anyway, Daiwa Laguna, great reel. I need to do a review on it, but I've had a lot of luck with it. And it's like a $39 reel. Maybe I need to double check that, but I've been really happy with it. And I'm not dogging against Fluger. Actually, what is it? Is a Pure Fishing. Pure Fishing actually has a whole outlet / deal here in up by Okoboji. What is that? Where's that outlet?
God, what is that called? It's in Spirit Lake.
Spirit Lake, yeah. So they actually have their headquarters and it used to be one of like their main deals. I think they actually changed it. They moved their headquarters, but where they fix reels and stuff is right here in Spirit Lake here in Iowa. It was a Pure Fishing headquarters. I think they moved it down to Georgia or something, but it's still there.
If you want to get discount line in a test that you'll never throw, go there. No, just kidding. It's an amazing place. If you want to get something in bulk, definitely check it out. It's awesome.
Yeah, and rods and reels. Randy's got a bunch of rods and reels there on super discount. Like it might be a refurbished deal or something that they stopped selling. So any of you Iowa boys here, or anybody up there by Okoboji, check it out.
Fluger did a limited edition
XT
micro. Yep. And honest to God, I bought 2 of these because it comes in a 5.2, which is not normal for a micro. And this is the only thing I run on my micro wads. And I'm not a Fluger or ride or die dude. But now I am for that specific reel because I legit that's like my favorite. That's my favorite ultralight.
That's honestly a whole different live we could do. Is fishing is not as much brand and lure type as it is based on being brand loyal. Like you'll hear guys say, and this is the reason I never bought a Shimano forever, is because I hated the people that would say, well, oh, you use this, I'm a Shimano guy.
Shimano or not.
Yeah. And I'm like, and literally it just turned me off from Shimano. And, now I've used them and tried them and they do make amazing stuff. But, you get guys that will get on something and love something and they're just, I'm a this guy or I'm a that guy. Yeah. So much of fishing is just brand loyalty.
But I find it to be silly though. That'd be like saying I only drive I only drive Chevy things.
Sure.
Like I drive a Ram, and if tomorrow Ford comes out with a truck that I like better, and I'm in the market for a new truck, I'm gonna go drive that truck. If I like that one better, I'm driving that one. I can't do that. I can't buy into that.
The important thing is the fishing rods fit in the bed.
Yes.
Just snap it over your knee. It'll fit, man. I got you. It's
I'll
fine.
make this a 3-piece. Let's go.
I can make it into a 2-piece for you, real easy.
Come on.
But if you've drove that Ram for 15 years and it's never given you a problem, what's the first brand you're going to look for first?
I'm not saying that that's a problem, but like, so
But just out of pure knee-jerk reaction, what are you going to look for first?
I don't have a problem with going and looking at what you know you like first. I have a problem with saying you won't buy something that you've never used.
I agree.
So that to me is like when I had never used a Daiwa. I bought a Cabela's brand that I didn't even realize was a Daiwa reel. This was years and years ago. And now I'm like always looking for Daiwas because I'm like, dude, that thing was rock solid. And I mean, rock solid.
But a lot of it's just ignorance, right? Like it's just this is what I know, and I don't know anything else, so I'm going to stay with what I'm comfortable with.
But if I just went and only bought, if I only bought Fluker President Special Limited Editions, I would have not known that I could have spent $20 less and gotten 20% more reel. And so to me, it's like it's fine to like what you like. Dude, like I'm not going to knock you for liking what you like, but
humans are creatures of habit.
Yeah, but to say like I'm not gonna go buy a Daiwa because I'm a Shimano guy, it's like, okay, well that's your fault.
Yeah,
it's like,
I get it. I see both sides.
I mean, I'm gonna go buy a Shimano because of what Daiwa. What I felt, not that Daiwa did it to me directly. It was just that the Daiwa it didn't work with me. We were not compatible. Our signs did not match up. So myself and Daiwa, I mean, Debo has done that coffee you're drinking is decaf to me when it comes to Daiwa reels. And he snuck them in there every once in a while because he was like, hey, check out this and this and that. And I'm like, this is Daiwa.
And
Randy's like, what are you doing to me?
Nice. I like this. What is this? I'm like, that's a Daiwa. And he's like,
he just scratched it off.
Never mind.
Throw it in the lake.
And when someone comes and says like I bought a Fluker President and they crapped on me when it had a problem, that's a good reason not to buy a reel. I just want to be clear. Like that's a great reason,
but not to hate everything else that company comes out with, because that's like the other end of the problem.
And I'm guilty of it. Yeah. I've never bought a Fluker, and it actually has to do because of the gear. I'm a realist when it comes to gear. Whatever the company is, Shimano, Daiwa, Lewis, I don't care who you are. There's going to be faults. There's going to be things that don't work. Period. That happens in manufacturing. Every manufacturer has a certain percent that aren't going to work right. Period. But for me, it was the customer service. I've been in customer service. I'm an ops relationship manager. I manage operations for a large insurance firm. And for somebody to say that's not my problem, go back to where you bought it. That's what killed me.
That's fine. Like, that's a good reason to not buy anything, because if you think you're going to run into that, right. Dude, I'm signed in. For sure,
but if it's product related, that's just different.
Right.
It's like one
I don't
product
like the color of that logo.
Right.
Okay, so we got a couple other donations coming in. Joe H with the donation. Thank you very much, brother. Said Waterland sunglasses any good? Was thinking about getting green tints. I've never used them. I noticed both you boys have Waterland. What do you think of them?
They're trash, complete trash. No, we wear them all the time. First of all, the company is awesome because I normally wear prescriptions and they didn't offer them until recently, and they're going to send me a pair, and they don't like normally do that. But awesome. So I've been on like their pro staff for I guess 2-3 months now, Paul. Like we got them in the ice season, and the green tints is definitely the way to go. I have the smoke tints, and I wouldn't touch the blue tints because I live in Michigan. So it's the green tints for me.
Randy and I were just talking about that. Is it based on water clarity, or is it more based on sun/light conditions?
So they're copper backed green tints. So yeah, Paul, you raised your hand. Wait your turn. I got you. So it's like with those green tints, it's the kind, because I also have a pair of Costas with green tints, and the Costa's green tint is way darker. So with this tint, it kind of just makes all the colors pop because that copper back. And for me, like the water clarity is much better. I can see shadows in the water. Well, that's helpful, right? Obviously, if you're trying to find fish. But then like just the visuals are just a lot better to me. The Costa, they're great too. They're really expensive. Like Waterland is just much more affordable kind of for what you're getting. And yeah, I mean, so far I've liked them. We wear them every trip we go out. If you guys watch our videos, you see them on us.
So I've been running Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't even know what model, I guess model make. I don't know. I have some Oakleys. I think they're whatever they are, and for whatever reason they don't fit on my hat when I'm out fishing, and so
Yeah.
like if it's really windy, they just blow off.
Fire.
And traditionally, when they blow off, they're gonna hit a rock and it's gonna stretch the lens. So I've found a company online that actually does really good job with like the actual fitting of the lenses.
Yeah.
And I don't even know how many different lenses I actually bought from them. But so I still have the same frames and I go out and I
Nice.
think most recently I have a green tint and a purple tint.
Mhm.
And I know with the green tint, they give me that blue blocker type of look. If you guys are old enough to know what like a blue blocker is, it like brightens the darks and things
Yeah.
like that. And then the purples are, they're just a polarized sunglass. So they're amazing. You just got to find the ones that actually work for you. And unfortunately, fit your wide face for my.
Oh, dude,
unfortunately.
Waterland is like
We all
Waterland
appreciate your
is
white
catered.
face. We're at an hour 15. I need to pick a giveaway winner. Who's going to pick a giveaway winner for me? Somebody needs to pick a random person in chat. Giveaway winner. I don't have a picker thing.
Oh,
start at the top and go.
Dude, ask them a question and then whoever answers it right first.
Okay.
I was gonna say
trivia?
either
Trivia.
Debo trivia.
Yes, do it.
Also, Debo trivia. What is my favorite color spinnerbait? The first person that I see answer it on mine is the winner.
Oh.
Thank you. Everybody, thank you.
Oh,
Mark Ferrall says, looks like I'm getting my first chatterbait in the April Monster Bass bag. When/how is it best used? Nice to see all four of you guys in the same chat. I've had a bunch of fun tonight. I wish lives didn't last an hour-ish and a half. I wish we could just go all night and talk. I know you guys, are you guys an hour ahead? Eastern?
Yeah, we're an hour ahead.
Yeah, so it's already almost 10 o'clock your time.
We're
I'm
good.
not going to keep that on past
bedtime for Easter dinner tomorrow. Lunch.
Yeah, exactly.
Night.
You don't want to be late to calling into it.
Bro, breakfast starts at 11 a.m. We're fine.
cough, cough.
Yeah, I
Cough,
do.
cough.
Hopping on, everybody hopping on tonight. It means a lot to me. Like I've said before, I'm just a guy who likes to fish. So being able to have people on my channel and stuff, it really does mean a lot to me. So Jeff and Paul, I thank you a lot. I'm going to check deals while you guys are answering this. One of you two who get the Monster Bass bag, can you answer? Do you know what you're getting? I don't know what that means.
That was a question. Wait, was it? Oh, in the MB bag?
Yeah.
Was there a chatterbait in this month's MB bag?
Not in mine.
I don't think so.
Hold on.
I mean, if you're getting it, you would be getting a Thunder Cricket. And if it's a Thunder Cricket, then it's best used around, depending on where you're fishing, structure. And
Somebody
if it's
said
darker,
I don't have a Chaz, I need one. Yes, that is correct. I need a Chaz because
you need a Chaz.
You need a
I'm
Chaz.
in that,
Everyone needs a Chaz.
Bro, Chazes are the best. You got to get yourself a Chaz.
I think it was Tyler. Real quick, let me
Yeah.
jump in. Fishing awesome. The first color I saw was blue, fishy, white, blue. He doesn't have a Chaz and needs one. Yes, white and chartreuse. I think it was Tyler. Tyler Sager was the first one showing on my screen. White and chartreuse is for sure my favorite spinnerbait.
Nice.
Tyler, hopefully you have Instagram. Hit me up. I need to get this clear coated, but I will be sending you this swim bait. Let me know how it does. I appreciate it.
Congrats. He's also the only one to spell chartreuse correctly, I believe. So good job.
It's not as easy.
It's not an easy word.
I literally would have been like white and yellow is my answer.
White and yellowish green.
Challenge. You'd be like, tell me I'm wrong.
Yellow, blue, green. That's my answer.
There it is.
Man, there's a bunch of folks that commented white and chartreuse. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you very much we've got a bunch of OG fishing friends in here that know that.
I'm gonna.
Oh, dude, it
know
was
what?
raining white and chartreuse. It was like
So Tyler. Okay, let me write this down first. Tyler was my first winner. You know what? I'm giving both away. I've got them both here. Screw it. Except we're gonna ask a different question.
New trivia.
Uh-oh.
Tyler Sager. Tyler, you can't win again. You're only eligible for one win. Okay, so the next one's gonna be this one. I'm getting rid of it. I've got it sitting here. That's it. So the next question, Randall, what's a good question?
What's a good question?
A Debo question.
Good Debo question. If you could, that's way too easy. God. I was gonna say if you see it, you got to pitch to it.
There it is. If you see it, find this, pitch to this. First person that answers. Find this, pitch to this. And I'm sorry, Jeff, did I interrupt you? I think I just completely
geez, that was fast.
Debo'd the conversation on that.
That's all good.
What?
Oh, there it is.
Oh my gosh!
That
That all
just-
came.
There's so much wood in this chat.
Ramiro is the first one under G.
Oh man,
Do we get a bunch of wood in the chat? That happens.
there's a lot of
There's
wood.
so much wood in this chat.
Ramiro.
Oh my god. You gotta attempt last names, Debo. I mean, I think that's law.
Oh, that's that's
Izagari?
exciting.
Is that how you pronounce it? Ramiro Izagari?
Ooh, I think that was a great
Ramiro
shot.
Is that correct?
Is that
Ramiro,
blue
I.
out?
Yeah, you're
Ramiro
blurry.
Did my Charles work?
Ramiro,
No.
you are the winner.
Your Chalice isn't here today, Paul.
The squirrel.
Yeah, but like I still got the Charles move. Whatever, I'm invisible. It's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry, Jeff. Jumping back to you. I'm sorry. I think I completely deboed the conversation.
I think we were talking to Mark about chatterbaits only, right?
Oh yes. Go ahead. Sorry. Keep going.
Cover
Said it was
dirty
the,
water.
Thunder Cricket.
Yeah, the Thunder Cricket. If you're getting one, it's probably a Thunder Cricket because it's from Monster Bass. So striking Thunder Cricket, throw it around cover. Right now, like I'd be throwing it in the river near like tree laydowns and stuff, log jams all day long. And then along grass lines, if you can find them, like I don't have any. There's no growth of vegetation whatsoever in any body of water right now. But if you got dirtier water or windy days, like today, I was hoping for it. I go for the flats and I just like cast along those flats like all day. And we've had great luck in the past. There's just not enough vegetation and like the water's too cold. So if it's a little bit warmer, you should have some luck. I always grab a chatterbait. on a windy day.
Can I ask a follow-up question to that?
Yeah.
It's not really a follow-up question, but recently, and by recently, I know this year I've had some luck, and then last year also, but I'll say a bladed jig without a skirt and like a trailer, like some sort of swim bait trailer. What do you guys think of that?
I think they're pretty rad, and there's something that I throw in like lighter stained water and like more clear water. I kind of like it. But the Z-Man chatterbait that comes with the diesel minnow, I actually had one of our subscribers, Chris Shue, send me one. Like that's a rad setup. Like you get one diesel minnow, which will last you approximately 57 years. So you don't ever have to swap out your bait, which is amazing.
Right.
Like, there you go. And they come in all different colors. So they're great.
I literally had black, blue, and silver of that on today.
Yeah, it didn't work today. It didn't work today. But
I don't know what it is.
Milk.
But like my confidence level for whatever reason is like if I'm throwing, any kind of like searching, moving type of bait and nothing's happening, I'll go dig around in my tackle bag and it's like, oh, what happened to the skirt on this, bladed jig? Oh, it fell off. Okay, let me throw some sort of like swim bait trailer on there, and it's just like, pow! Instantly, it just gets blown up. I think it's an amazing option to go with, especially if you're like me and you have one box that's got all your chatterbaits in it, and they happen to degrade a little bit, and if it falls apart, don't get rid of it. Don't go out looking for a new skirt.
Yeah.
Just throw a swim bait on there, and it's amazing.
I love it too. It seems to be a great pike finder, the naked chatterbait.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the pike also make your chatterbaits naked, so it's kind of their
Yeah,
fault that my skirts are gone.
True.
They're like
you go.
Debo with a two-piecer. They'll just make it happen.
They just destroy things.
Oh, you've only got a one piece. I'll make it a two piece.
It'd be a shame if that became a two-piece.
Sycamore with the donation. Thank you very much, brother. Anybody, I want to make sure I get to all you guys. I think I've got to everyone. I did see my guy Bass Geek was in the chat. Bass Geek Hank, what is up, brother? He's a good cat. If y'all haven't followed him, make sure you hit him with a follow, sub, whatever
yeah.
the cool kids call it. Smash that like button and what have you. But okay, so we're gonna get in. So the rest of the show meat. So as Paul would call it, the end of the show meat. We're already at an hour 24. Time goes too damn quick. So
it's a construct.
I know. I hate it. So the end of it, I wanted to ask the future of fishing. What does the future of the Burly Fishing channel for both you guys look like? Do you have any goals? Anything that you want to talk about? So for example, me, I've had people the whole time ask about Debo, do you think you'll ever go full-time YouTube? I was 100% no. I will never go full-time YouTube. It's not 100%, for sure that I'm going to get a paycheck. And, with the way the market is now, the way with everything kind of is in life now, nothing's really for sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way my channel has gone, it's gone 1,000 times better than I thought possible. Maybe that is an option, in the next few years.
Nice.
I don't know. But kind of like, do you guys see anything? Do you see yourselves going full time? Is there anything you want to focus on more? What about you guys? Go ahead.
Yeah. So the way we look at it is we try to treat it like a business. I've owned a few businesses in the past. I'm kind of a serial entrepreneur. It's a problem. I'm working on a few other businesses right now too. So like, will it be full-time? No, because I don't ever have one full-time. Like I would never, ever settle to do one thing. I don't drive in one lane. I drive in all 5 lanes of the highway. So typically I'm just swerving, man.
Okay, I was thinking like fishtailing, or how is that happening?
Dude, I'm all over the place. Trying to keep it balanced. But yeah, like YouTube is like one aspect. So we added like YouTube memberships to our channel, and then we do the lives, which have super chats, and then we're working on apparel and making it better and all of that stuff. But like I would love to do, I'd love to figure out some other way, whether it's like apparel or tackle or something else that, we could grow and like put the brand on. That would be awesome. But for me, my side businesses, I do a lot of sales development and training. It's kind of my main gig. And then, so like I'm working on a company there. And then I also do, or am dabbling in now, we could say. I'm getting into like property ownership. So start getting into like, yeah, just, is the water warm enough? I don't know, but we're working on that. So my wife and I we created Burly Rentals. So we're gonna just like put this name on everything, and I'm like, I'll just use the same logo and just change fishing to like rental,
find it out,
sales training, like all this other stuff. But I mean, yeah, like the dream, of course, would be, could we do this full time? Why not? Like, wouldn't it be so fun if you just got paid to fish, and then awesome companies like Akuma and Monster Bass and Waterland and Super K Jigs like just threw you stuff, and you'd be like I didn't come up with all this stuff. Like I didn't grow up with a lot of shiny cool things. All my friends had like 4-wheelers and dirt bikes and stuff, and I was always like, man, wouldn't that be great? And I'm like living in an apartment. So now when I get stuff sent to me, it's phenomenal. It's baffling to me that happens. For sure. So that's I love to do this.
Is we do mirror each other. I joke about the whole Burly's trying to take over my persona. Not the case, guys. Follow him. He's doing his own thing. And what I like about him and Paul is they really are like, you look at it's like a mirror image of 2 guys who just literally love to fish. We're not out catching 10-pounders every other deal, not out catching, Mondo's, another fire video, just we love to fish, and that's what we're doing. So, yeah, no, we don't have a special private pond that's stocked full of 27-pounders. Like,
was that a ghost?
What was that ghost?
Wait, who said that?
Oh, that's legit, man. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like we've talked about that before. Fishing is something different to everyone. If you have that, fish it up. I would never hold that up against anybody. Private versus public versus live bait versus artificial bait. I don't care. Get out and fish. It's completely up to you, but I tend to gravitate more towards those people that just love to fish and are fishing kind of the everyday stuff. That's just me. I'm a guy in Iowa, that's kind of how it is for me. So that's what I like about you two. And kind of like Burly was saying, the thing that folks don't realize is like the actual money that you get from YouTube is a tiny portion. Like and I know you've talked about it on your podcast before, the time versus what do they call it? Investment versus return.
Your
is
ROI.
Horrible.
It's shit. I'm
5
sorry.
cents
I
an
know I
hour.
just
5
demonetized
cents
this
an
whole
hour.
Not
thing.
demonetized now. Thanks.
And I
Randall,
know I owe you.
It
I know
wasn't
I
me
owe
this
you.
time. It wasn't me.
I'm surprised it's not Randy. Last time it was
It's
Randy
me.
that got me
I'm sorry.
demonetized.
Could go on one time.
This is a
Now
this
we
is
never
a,
get to come back to Devo's house.
and I apologize.
I can't
I
take
do.
you anywhere.
No, you
No,
can't.
he's right. It is shit. It's absolute crap.
It is though. If you got a family, dude, that's what I think. That's the thing that a lot of people don't understand.
yeah.
It's so easy to watch a 15-minute video,
Yeah.
and there's like, because of having a supercomputer in your pocket on a daily basis that tells you where to go and tells you when something's on sale, and also gives you Debo
On
3
demand.
times a week.
Yeah.
Just think about think about one video. You have to go fishing for an afternoon. Or you have to film for an afternoon. Then
Could
you
be
have
multiple days if it sucks.
you have to edit that video
Yeah.
for, if you're really good, an hour. Like if you're really good, like you're knocking it out in an hour. So you have to publish it. You have to write everything that goes. You have to write everything that goes with it. You have to do the thumbnail. You have to do all the stuff. There's a trillion things that you will forget every single time you go. You will not have your camera. You will not have a screw for whatever. You won't have a tool to get set up for whatever. You will forget your frog and rod for your frog and episode to do it.
You get to the place and you're ready to fish. That's an hour away, and you realize you forgot your camera and everything.
Dude,
Yeah,
I've
done it.
Every
and
single
then Debo
time.
shows up late.
Bro, I'll show up late. I know I didn't mean to cuss on the show, but it's just it really is something that the ROI end is not what people think it is. It's very easy to make it look very cool because you're only seeing like the video, right? And I think some people appreciate it, but like, you know, if you've got 100,000 subscribers, that's 1,000 out of that's 1%. So it's
and it's different for everyone. You know, some people might have 50,000 subscribers and have 50,000 views every video, right? And I'm not flashy, I'm not special, I'm just a guy who likes to fish. So I don't expect anything different. You know, I don't expect to have 50,000 views on every video. If you like my stuff, that's great. If you don't, I don't. To me, I get that question all the time. Like people say, you know, you're just a regular normal guy. Why don't you have 100,000 views on every video or whatever? And to me, it's like I revert back to it's music, right? YouTube is just like music. People might watch my channel and say, this guy's an idiot. I hate his videos. And that's fine. That doesn't make me mad. There's a bunch of other people that say, I love Debo or I love Burly, right? It's just like music. You know, you can't be mad at it. You can't please everyone. You know, you do your thing and move on. It's kind of like the Guggenbaits thing. So AA Fishin said, how do you feel about Guggenbaits? I like Guggenbaits. I've used Guggenbaits. The trench hog, I think, is a cool, different lure that I've had a lot of success on. The Rattlin' Ned is another one that I've had a lot of success on. I like it. Some of the other things, I think there's better lures out there, and it's just like any company. Just recently, Randall and I were out. I found some monster rusty crawfish in one of our lakes. Picked them up like they were mondos. And
Sorry, I
Randall,
was scared of those.
Randall was scared of them. They looked like a bug.
That's a water spider.
Yeah, we've determined they look like a hairy water spider. He was scared. he had some PTSD.
Those things were like 5 inches long. Come on.
Terrifying.
They were big. Yeah, they were monsters. But in the thing, old Randall flipped his jig up there and he had a Googie trailer on, and we give each other crap all the time. I'm like, all you use is Googie stuff, because it seems like Guggen followers are 100% Googie and hate everything else, or you're on the other end of the spectrum. Like, I only use everything else. I hate Googie. And I'm not sure why they're different. Like, it's this whole thing that's bred on the internet. I don't get it. But I had multiple people give me the finger and say, F you, Debo, because at the end of the video, I was like, oh, Randy's got a Googie trailer on here. Get that out of here.
Oh, they thought you were hating hard.
Totally joking on him because we rip on each other all the time. I don't get it. I like their stuff. I don't have anything against them.
People expect you to be upset.
That's true.
People expect you to either be 100% on board or hate them.
Yeah.
There's no middle ground. I don't get it. It's like spinnerbait.
Do you get a question about it every single show? Because
we do.
Every
I
single
would say
show.
probably. I skip over a lot of it just because I can't keep up. But probably. I would say, yep.
Yeah.
I've no problem.
I mean,
I used a rattle and Ned today.
Yeah. It's a great bait.
I've never seen a Ned rig with a rattle in it. They were the first ones to do it.
Yeah.
That's
and
amazing.
I know there's all kinds of stuff of they copied this and this copied that. That's the fishing market. Like
Everybody
this brand's
copies everybody.
copying this brand, and like I use stuff for what it is. I don't care where it's made. You know, we get into reel talk and people say that's a Doyo Chinese reel. I'm not here to tell you where it's made. I'm here to tell you what my personal
this thing I'm using. Let's talk about that.
So it's, man, we could go down about 15 different rabbit holes.
Did you get that overnighted from Japan? Because I have no idea what that means. I mean, the biggest thing with me is I'm literally going to try everything and anything. Yeah. And if you guys have paid attention to, you know, any of DEBO'S videos that I've been in, it's like I go to the far left when everybody's like, right is you do X, Y, and Z when the water is this. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm going to make a jig that has a white skirt with a white trailer, and I'm going to dip the trailer in red, and I'm going to yo-yo my jig, my finesse jig. I'm going to yo-yo it. I'm not going to like pop it along the ground like you normally would. I'm going to do whatever just feels right for me in that instance. Yeah. And if it's like, try this lure or try this soft plastic, I'm going to go ahead and do it. But I know my biggest thing is if I'm going to go out there and I'm going to throw my money down, I want it to be worth it. So if I have a few of these googies, then that's what it is. And if I don't like them because they don't stand up, then that's what it is.
We've gone full circle back to Paul. You can't say you hate something if you've never tried it. Don't yuck my yums if you've never tried my yums.
And also you can't just be like Guggen's only, because there's so many other baits out there. Like what you like, but I mean at the same point, be like the Bandito bug and the rattle and net are great, but I could like take or leave the saucy swimmers because they're not that durable. Like, so you know,
I do like the saucy swimmers. They're I haven't had issues with them, but I do like
them. Here we go. A whole different. Okay, so we're already at the end. An hour 36. I said I wouldn't go past 10 o'clock for these guys. So to end the show, we always end with a rapid fire on our show. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
But Paul and Burly do. So rapid fire questions. We're gonna go through a few questions. Like I said, I've kind of stole their persona tonight for the theme, and I like it. I think you guys are onto something there with having a theme that people are familiar with, right? My show's just kind of all over the place and people kind of come and go, but rapid fire. Okay. One food that you need no matter what. For me, I'm going to say taters. And that's something that people have said that we need to ask that question to all subs. So quick deal. Fan of taters, yes or no?
Oh,
love potatoes. Yeah. All the time, forever.
Dude,
like
my wife's Polish. If I say no, we're divorced. I don't. That's an auto yes.
Potatoes are the vegetable that goes with the food. Our vegetables don't have colors; they're all pale and potatoey.
Potatoes and peas. That's mine.
Yeah.
Paul, what about you?
Like, if this is just any meal, like
anything,
like
one food, anything.
It's not even close. It's honestly not close. It's pizza.
I dig it,
bro. It's a bread, a cheese, and a lot on mine. A lot of protein. Like, don't.
If you go to Casey's here in Iowa and get breakfast pizza, you can even get pizza with potatoes on it. So
you're preaching the choir, my guy.
See, all right.
Burly, how about you?
If it's a food like that I have to have like forever, like let's say it's my last food forever and ever, it's probably sushi. I'm gonna go weird. And I
was just talking about sushi. That's funny.
I'm borderline obsessed with sushi. Like I do. There's a place downtown here that does sushi burritos, and it's like the world's best combination.
Sushi burritos?
You take a sushi roll, you make it bigger, and then you cut it only in half instead of into 9 pieces, and then you eat the thing like a burrito. It's awesome.
The thinking man's sushi.
Somebody was eating a sushi roll and they were like, what if I could do this? Wouldn't that be great?
That sounds dangerous.
Triple XL.
The grilled stuffed burrito, but
yeah,
my brain is literally broken right now.
You're welcome.
My guy Baskeek in the house had to drop his Little Debbie's. He is a
Little Debbie's.
Hey.
Yo,
someone else's yum.
Huge
ate them
appreciation
today.
for the little Debbie's. We
Randizzle,
got on a whole
what's-
tangent on that, but
What's Randizzles?
yeah, Dizzle, what's yours?
Man, I love tacos.
Ooh.
Like
That was gonna be
original
my
tacos,
You are a
like
taco fiend.
like
Yep.
the basic taco. Like any taco is a good taco, man. Make a bad
Agreed.
taco and it's still a good taco.
What if it's a taco with ketchup on it?
What, dude? What if it's just French fries inside?
A potato taco.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, that was question 1. Question 2. One lure you will never, ever, ever give up, no matter what, no matter where you're fishing, doesn't matter. I'm going with, you might think the question would be, or the answer would be frog for me. But if I'm going anywhere, one thing I will never, ever give up, I'm going to say Texas rig. Texas rig.
Ooh.
Yep.
Anywhere I go, I'm confident that I can catch a fish on a Texas rig. I can vary my weight. I can vary the color of the plastic. I'm saying Texas rig. We're going round robin.
Dang.
Dizzle, what's yours?
Hey,
One lure
you
you'll
can
never
pass.
go without.
You can pass on me because you know what mine is.
Tell
I'm
us.
never
What is
gonna.
it?
I'm never gonna give up on a jig. Jig.
Jig.
Never leave home without it. American
Yeah.
Express jig.
Ned rig for me is literally always tied on, and or I have a little side caddy in my Hobie that is full of Ned rigs.
That's your secret stash.
They never leave my boat.
Paul's
So,
like, did you bring any Ned rigs today? We're not going to fish Ned rigs. You're like, no, I didn't bring any today.
not once ever.
As he's instantly like
Yeah.
pulling it out of a port inside of his chest.
Hold
Head
it
on,
on.
let's go.
Cubby in the Hobie.
My
Yeah.
tackle bag today had 2 plastic containers full of jigs, and not to consider the plastic sack full of boxes of jigs.
Love
I
it.
felt bad. My name's Dizzle. I have a jig problem.
That's all right. Hella Bass supports you in it. Hella Bass, another guy. Awesome dude.
Yeah.
I was on his podcast. Give him a follow. Go check him out. But he said, my man Dizzle, hashtag jigs for pigs. Dizzle proved it today. We caught only a handful of fish, but the biggest fish was caught on the jig.
Nice.
And that's a pretty common theme. Paul, how about you? One lure.
Man, I'm gonna get incredibly specific, and it's because it's the one that I
Jerkbait.
always keep with me. I was gonna say jerkbait, but I could survive without a jerk. I'm not
You
not
couldn't.
that. Yeah,
No,
it'd be
you
tough. I could do it though. I'm like trying to imagine like what was something that if I was gonna like pack like a tiny box, like what is something that would always be in there no matter what.
It's really toe grub.
Dude, it's don't play with me.
Don't
I
play
really,
with
Jigs.
it's that dude. It is the head and torpedo. I feel like I can.
Really? Wow.
It really is. The thing about it is, like, Jeff, how many times have we been like on the water and I've been able to pull one up
Yeah.
with it when nothing else is working? It's just, it's
Not
like I
having a
said,
good time.
the
Yeah.
only, and then the Rebel Popper is like right there. You could go either way. It's just,
Yep.
I feel like I can catch a fish on that no matter what. Like, honestly, today I'm surprised I didn't, if it wasn't 17-mile-per-hour winds, like, I'd be surprised I didn't throw it.
You couldn't because you don't have the Magnum torpedo or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't have it with me.
That makes more of a commotion.
The jig wouldn't have let you
Yeah.
down.
Days.
Just saying.
Yeah, the jig. Well, the jig did let us down.
It let me down.
unfortunately.
Everything let me down. But
We fished it all.
yeah, it's just one of those things that with the exception of ice fishing, like I feel like I could go catch something with it. I really do.
That's funny. Thomas
100%.
McGaha says, Dizzle, I also have a jig problem. Dizzle, once you get your YouTube channel up, you might have to have a weekly live that's some sort of jig therapy. Hi guys, in today's edition of Jig Therapy for all my jig addicts.
There's got to be
Hi,
like,
my-
yeah, it's got to be like an anonymous.
What
Yeah.
are
Anonymous.
what are your 10 commandments of?
Hi, my name's Dizzle.
recovery.
Over this last week, I bought 7,800 jigs.
this
It's
weekend?
But we're not trying to recover from it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So,
that's fine.
Oh,
You'll
there's no
embrace it.
recovery.
It's an acceptance?
deep. It's deep in the soul right now. It's jig is.
Okay, we're
jig
almost
is
an
life.
hour 45. This might be one of our longest lives.
ooh,
I'm not mad. I've still got one more rapid fire question. Last one. This is
Mm.
it. We're going to answer it and then we're going to go. One lure you will never throw. Do you have a lure that's excluded from the list that either you hate it, you don't believe in it,
Ooh.
for whatever reason you will never throw it? I'm going to say, so I actually had, I was on my guy TJ Tucker's boat. He was showing me some of the Roman made mothers I think that's what it's called. The Roman made like hundreds of dollar swim baits that he's thrown.
Oh.
Being a bank guy mainly, I would never throw a Roman made mother. I think that's what it's called, right? A swim bait that's over $100 some dollars. I'm not going to do it.
You don't just throw away bills?
Yeah, from like whether it's casting it and breaking it off or getting it stuck in something.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of cringe for me. So
Ramey just called out Danny the Duck.
I was just looking at my wall of shame. So this is combo wall of fame, wall of shame. There are baits I like on here. We did a video on it, but there are a lot of baits I don't like. There's actually there's a few. Unfortunately,
hold on, I gotta pee. I've been holding a pee for so long. Take over, guys.
Let it rip.
We
got you.
Shorts, pee in your pants on stream if you got $100 donation. I'm not going to do that.
Nobody's peeing in your pants is cool.
Yeah, nobody's donated 100. I might kind of look like Adam Sandler. But
Debo, go. You're not. You don't have to be that bad if you're still talking. Anyway,
it's your podcast.
Right, he brought on 2 hosts. He's like, you're okay.
The Danny the Duck, is that is the maker the W company?
West
the W company.
I wasn't gonna say the name, but yes.
Paul, you ruined everything.
No, bro.
We can't have a sponsorship.
We let it go around here.
I mean, they're the only ones that call it Danny the Duck, anyways. So
I bought one of those, and I was like, this thing's gonna murder. I was up in Okoboji. And I'm like, there's muskie, there's pike, there's all of these, big meat-eating fish. I'm like, I'm gonna throw this, and I threw it, and on the first cast, where the hook comes out of the bill and into and out, back and around, it ripped on the bottom, the first cast.
Yeah.
And
see,
they're a company from the UK, right?
Yes. Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, they make a lot of baits and a lot of really, really good baits. But there's a lot of misses because I feel like the way they engineer them, a lot of it is for the type of fishing they do there. There's tons and tons of pike. Like pike fishing is so huge in the UK.
Mike the pike.
Sure.
Yeah, Mike the pike. We have a lure in my bag right here that I haven't even cast yet. I really want to. It's literally it looks like a baby pickerel. Like it's sick. But a lot of those baits don't translate. And unfortunately, there's also companies like Chase Baits, which I love. I love a ton of Chase Bait stuff. Like a ton of their baits are amazing. And then some of them are
tails.
Yeah. But then some of them are like, bro, this probably works great in Australia. That's like their original base company. And I'm like, but it ain't gonna work here. But I don't know, man. So that company has made a lot of misses for me, mostly that I've gotten in mystery tackle boxes in the past, right?
Right.
I've had
100%.
floating crankbaits that don't do anything. Like they literally don't even dive. I'm like, okay. It says 2 to 4 meters. It goes down 0.4 feet. So
who even knows what a meter is?
And also that problem, they're weighed in grams. They're also, no offense to our Canadian friends.
We're just the dumbest dum-dums. We're like, yeah, who even knows?
Let's just alienate everyone.
Yeah.
But
hey,
Debo, sorry you just came back. Nothing happened over here. What you
everything's
fine. We burned all of your bridges to all of your potential sponsors.
That's fine.
So no, the bait, I guess if I had to say one thing, I agree with the over $100 swim baits. First of all, but if somebody put one in my hand, I might throw it. I would throw it, if it wasn't mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say if it's yours and you want me to throw it, I'll throw it.
Yeah, but for me, I was looking up at my wall here, and there's one from Weston that is a hollow body swim bait. And I was forced to throw it because it came in a box, and I always try to do an on the water review. And it was honestly my least favorite bait I've probably ever fished of all time forever. And I don't even think they sell it anymore. But if I was to choose not to throw something, it would be like that. Danny the Duck is close just because Danny, his feet fall off and then he doesn't walk very well. And then you rip both feet off and then he just sinks more. And then you're throw that away, and then you put a frog on, then you catch a fish, and you're like, "Hey, I'm happy again." But I've never had any luck with Danny.
Somebody somehow comes up with a sticker from that company and puts it on your truck door.
What? What?
This
Is this
guy,
a thing that has happened?
Wait, this guy up
I was
here.
peeing. I don't know what happened. So another funny thing about that, Burly, I saw you were a fan of the Lunker Hunt spider. Is that true?
Oh, huge fan.
Yeah. So
I also am.
like, so yeah. I mean,
Dude.
it's another one where a lot of people like love it or hate it, and I would definitely die on that cross.
I was about to say, show me the hill. Show me the hill.
Yeah.
I will go over there.
I will go to the hill.
An hour 50 and had 2 people deleted from the stream. It's just gonna be blurry duck faces.
It's just, you know, the level of unfairness fishing that spider up here. It's so unfair.
That's
Like,
crazy. Because
Can
It
we tell you why? Can we explain
destroys.
why though? Can we make our case?
no, go ahead.
he's like, leave.
It's
No.
open forum.
I know,
I'm always
Dizzle, I know it's scary. So bear with me here though. The thing about the spider is
It's not hairy. It's not hairy.
Oh, you're right.
It's
You're right.
not
Never mind. I
hairy.
take it all back.
Like Cody.
The hairy one is a special edition.
Yeah.
Comes with fibrous hairs.
Lunker Hunt fibrous tarantula. It only does well in the southern states.
No. So
No.
I also I'm noted as saying that Lunker Hunt is also in the camp of the W company, where I feel like there are some really good ones and there's some really bad ones. And the thing about the spiders, the first time we fished it, I did not expect it to be anything that I would care about or think would be any different than anything else.
We thought it was a joke. We
Thought
expected
it was a
to
joke.
make a hate video on it.
Yeah, the video was supposed to be a joke video. Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what we walked into it with.
Yep.
Come to find out that I legitimately think about it now as like a finesse frog. Like, I think
Don't
of it as
tell
a
me
finesse.
it works.
No, it works super good. And honestly, it
We
doesn't.
catch hundreds of fish on those.
That's the thing, is like it does numbers. It really
Yeah.
does. And I don't
Do you
like
fish it on a bait caster or spinning reel?
baitcaster.
baitcaster every time.
Really?
Yeah.
And how do
Dude,
you think it compares to like a small frog.
It's
They have
not
two
easy to
different
catch.
sizes, right?
well,
Yeah. They do have like a
3/4 quarter.
Quarter?
Have,
a
yep.
quarter
they
and a
have
half.
different
They have a
sizes?
quarter and a half.
Yeah.
There's two.
Yeah.
I think Debo somehow bought a 16th version.
Really?
I would.
I
I
have a
wouldn't.
small one. The hook
Yeah.
gap is really small. To me,
It is a light hook. It's
like
a
I
light hook.
said before, I'm down to try stuff. Hands down, I would take a small like finesse frog any
Sure.
day for that because I'm confident with the frog.
100%. And
You say that, and you guys, I trust you.
There's
go ahead.
this. Do you ever throw a frog with like when you don't trim the little dangly legs on it, and
I pretty much trim mine.
so I leave mine on specifically because I find that there are times, especially with like a pad crasher or where if I can find a gap in Lily, when I throw it right into it and I just don't touch it and I just let it sit, when I leave the legs longer, you can get a blow up, and I feel like it's because the legs are just doing the leg thing. The spider does that.
that's
period.
actually it. That's
The
so
thing.
it's a twitch pause, but it's a long pause. So we get blown up on the pause with the spider, and that's the trick that a lot of guys who have gotten it, like, because it came in a Monster Bass box a while back, like last year, and a lot of guys were like, "This thing sucks." I think it was in the middle of summer, and we were just crushing on it because what we realized is you don't work it as the same as you would a frog. It's like when you, to Paul's point, let the frog sit and that skirt spreads out. It's all those legs. It makes this big, gigantic symbol in the sky that the bass will go and strike. So, I mean,
How many do you have, Jeff? This will be proof. How many do you have?
I have at least 8 or 9.
I have 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I
I have every color that they make in both ways.
I don't know what to tell you.
Like, I don't even know about
Bro,
those. Like that
Time
for
out.
me.
Time out.
I'm a big top.
I leave for
water
a second.
person.
You've got the spider up on the screen.
He didn't even get up.
Good lord!
Oh, I was just saying, Debo, I was just saying, like, the proof is in the pudding. Like, I had one. I now have like 5 or 6. Jeff, how many do you have?
I'm not mad at it. I'm not.
I have 2 right here on my desk.
Perception is reality.
Yeah.
I threw it, and like for me, it's hard to fathom how you would pick up one of those over like a finesse frog, because like a finesse frog going heavy stuff, that thing's so light. You try to put it over anything kind of heavy, and it's useless. Like I just found you can't do anything with it. And
We're gonna have to do another video. I can't wait. I want to do one so bad.
Ways of fishing it. I'm not mad at it. That's why fishing is so awesome. Is like, again, you know, and I see we're almost at 2 hours. At 2 hours, we're gonna end it. I'm gonna do one last giveaway. I paint just because we've still got almost 220 people on.
Nice.
2 hours of a bunch of weirdos talking about fishing and spiders.
And I already dropped the S-bomb.
He dropped the S-bomb. I dropped the S-bomb because it's true. We're up to almost 225 now.
I have no bombs dropped.
A custom
Me neither.
Copper 75 painted purple chartreuse. This one's even signed by old
That's
me.
Ooh.
That's pretty.
So, anyway, I'm giving that away at 2 hours. So if you're still on it at 2 hours.
Ooh, there we go.
Debo, real quick.
Go for it.
Real quick. We talked about this earlier today. Can you please, and this goes back to, this is a callback from a previous question. Can you please start putting like a hash or a dash or a tag or a whatever on your lures with a key that says this dives to X, that dives to Z? Like
that's a whole other lure painting / lure making thing. So what Randall's referring to is, and I agree 100% with him, is some companies will put like the weight of the lure or the diving depth on like the bill of crankbaits. Mm-hmm. I agree. I don't know why all of them don't do it. So he thinks I should have some sort of key. Well, this one you can't tell because it's still got the tape on it from where I painted but like some sort of key on the bill or something so people know. I don't know. I'll have to look into it, but I like it. I like where your head's at.
That's something that I've done personally. I would take a Sharpie and put like 2 dots for a 2 to 5 and 3 dots for this and 4 dots for that.
Yeah,
like I would just do that and throw them all, because you get a box filled with crankbaits and you're like, that one looks like that one, but you know, you look at them after the fact and one goes to 10 feet and the other goes to 2 feet.
As a crankbait dork, like I legit use that as like before I throw my first cast to figure out what I'm gonna do, because I'll take a 12-foot diver and I'll fish it in 4 feet of cover and I'll just fish it different. Like I just need to know what I'm dealing with before I start, to know what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah.
What he's saying is Paul bought actually a waterproof label maker and he labels the bill of all of his crankbaits.
And here I am, not catching anything for the first month of the season.
It's a 3
I wonder why
on the bill of a crankbait.
If you rig the spider, if you wacky rig the spider, you will catch more fish on the spider. Can
I give my won't fish? Because I have one.
Oh, did you
not say that?
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Paul, go for it. What's yours?
Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong here. It's the Kraken?
Oh, the Lunker Hunt? Yeah. Yeah, it's
dude,
the Kraken.
It is honest. I have one right here. I can grab it. It's my least.
It's technically a blade bait.
Jig.
But it's a fixed blade on the jig, which there's nothing wrong with. But so it's kind of more of like a shutter bait almost. But it doesn't do anything. Like the action is
trying
like
to get real close to look at this.
That the action is like negative.
See how it's connected at the head?
Almost like the Rage. The Rage deal has a one-piece. What is it? The Rage.
This doesn't weigh enough.
Rage blade? I think it's the Rage blade. Go ahead.
This doesn't weigh enough to get down, and it doesn't. The blade doesn't. It's not wide enough or angled well enough to bring it down. So what you end up having to do is let it fall, try to bring it up, and nothing happens.
That's the Rage blade. I think
that looks better.
Can you rip the skirt off of that and throw a swim bait on the back of it?
Oh my god,
that's what I would do.
You can rip the skirt off of it, put a hairy spider with a clamshell on it on the
No, I was serious. Take the skirt off of that
with the clamshell in tow.
Yeah, with
I'm
the
gonna try it. I can prove that I fished this. Look, it's still got old braid on it.
I don't doubt you.
I'm doing it, Dizzle.
So have you noticed that comes better? Is that an EWG hook on the back?
No, it's short. It's short shank.
Yeah.
Strange.
And the thing is, it's got a crap. That's not true. It's just not my favorite style of holder.
That's so a double keeper.
The only way
I don't like those.
Yeah, the only way to fish it, you can't fish it like a chatterbait.
I like the wire. Everything about this bait makes me upset.
You
This whole
can't
bait.
fish it like a chatterbait. It will go straight to the surface like really
Yeah.
fast.
Right
Really?
up.
So
Yeah.
you have to let it drop to
Strange.
the bottom, and then you just rip it up. It's a yo-yo bait.
But
That's the
then it
only
does-
way to fish it.
See, and that, okay, so that's my question. Is I know a lot of people have said about this one
Mhm.
that this deal comes through wood better with the way the blade is set up.
Sure.
Mm,
It tends to tick it and come over it because, like, hands down, chatterbaits. I'm not afraid to fish them close to wood, and I lose $18,000 million worth of chatterbaits in wood. They suck around wood. I don't care what you
They
say.
do. Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that was kind of what that thing was designed to do. But if you're saying it doesn't vibrate, even if you rip it, does it vibrate? Do you try like ripping it?
yeah.
It does and it
if
doesn't.
you, it does if you rip.
Yeah,
I'm
you
trying to remember
have to
because I
rip.
haven't I fished it 3 times. Okay, and I've had these for kind of a while. Actually, I have them in 3 different colors.
Yep.
Because I've gotten them sort
That
of
stinks,
randomly,
yeah, because it looks.
and
too
I've just, I like wanted it to work, and I'm fully willing to change my opinion if I can figure out a way to fish it. I don't even need to catch fish on it. I need to think that I could catch.
That's
fish
exactly
on
what I thought, Thomas. Thomas Nakaha. So it's essentially a scrounger bait. Yeah,
Yes.
it almost looks like a hard-bladed scrounger head.
Yep. It just doesn't fish well in our opinion. Like that's just it. Like we just either, I mean, we could be big dumb, like that's fine. We is dumb. So
we'll
we
admit
just
it willingly.
have not
Off
figured it
we
out.
is.
Like call us dumb. That's fine. We don't get it. But that's it. We don't get it. Like I've tried it a million different ways. I just don't get it. And somebody called out like the Guggen squad clickbait. Yeah, but with that, like here's the funny thing with the clickbait is they'll fish it in their videos and they're like, yeah, you do this and this and this, and then you go fish it and you're like, yeah, it doesn't really do that. But what you find out from like message boards is that you're supposed to bend the wire to make it fish different depths. So it is adjustable, and I don't know, maybe the Kraken is adjustable too. I mean, I have a couple clickbaits. I thought they were fine. They don't fish through grass the way I fish a chatterbait, so you just have to fish it totally differently. Like, just don't think it's a chatterbait. It's not.
Yeah.
And then, you fish it more like open water, freer cover. It works a little better. And then you can bend the wire to like fish it at different depths. But I was like, why do I have to modify this bait? Like, I feel bad just getting my pliers and ripping on like a jig head. I don't like it.
Paul was a little aggressive on that. Yeah, he brought the heat on that one. I agree with Andy there.
It's it is what it is. Everybody knows that the Q of the D is just some random thing that I'm way too passionate about. It is what I do.
Dude,
yeah, I didn't get passionate on mine. I didn't know that was the back.
You have to get like overtly upset for no reason. That's the idea.
But you also have to
choose. Like
you have to pick things that like other people would be mad about. So he'll be like, "I will only prepare my bacon in the oven on a baking sheet." Come at me, bro.
Well, wait, hold on. What's wrong with bacon in the oven?
There's nothing
wrong with it, but he's just saying like it's that or nothing. That's what he means. It's like there's no other side for Paul. It's just
Randy probably knows better. Randy, do I have anything like that? Anything that I would absolutely die on the top of the hill for that other people will be like, really?
I mean,
like
there's
if somebody
probably
does
1,000 things. Look, I don't.
Okay, anyway,
you'll never know until you make yourself write a Q of the D once a week for years.
maybe we'll kind of adopt that, and I'll have to rename it. If
you can have it. Q of the D. It can be all yours.
Some sort of fun question.
Copyright infringement. I probably owe you anyways after dropping the S-bomb in this episode.
Here's your copyright.
Here's your copyright. Okay, so G-Fan Kim said, use half the clamshell as a spoon. That literally about made me spit out my Powerade here. G-Fan, you win the plopper. You, sir, you are the winner for almost making me spit out my Powerade. If you're still on, hit me up on Instagram. We've never had a live go over 2 hours, and I feel like we could honestly keep going another hour.
4
I know
hours.
it's 10:30 for you guys there, so I'm gonna call it. Do you guys have any closing statements before we sign off for tonight? Anything you want to say? Anything we didn't cover? Do we need to do another one sometime?
I mean, I'm down to come back.
Sure.
Absolutely.
The only closing statement I have is one that I've said numerous times. Just throw a jig.
Throw a jig.
That's not a closing
Please.
statement.
When
That's
in
just
doubt,
That is
When-
a closing
when in doubt-
statement, sir.
like,
You can't
guys,
handle a closing statement.
throw a jig.
guys and gals, I don't care if you only have an hour to fish or 5 hours to fish. Fishing is a game of numbers. Get out and fish. That's a closing
Get out.
statement, not throw
Fair.
jigs. Come on,
Fair.
Randall.
Hey, Devin.
What? Hey, if any
42 minutes and I'll be at your door. So just
people have been sending me baits and stuff. If anybody has a hairy spider in a clamshell that you
Oh
can,
my God!
with-
If
I will
somebody
deliver it
wants
to
to see
Randall.
Debo
Randall's
Spartan kicked into the lake, send
So-
him a hairy spider in a clamshell.
Hear me out.
Just saying.
Can somebody just split ring some trebles on a clamshell and then maybe also a plastic lip on the front of it?
Oh my
With
gosh!
the
if
line
they-
tie
Randy has
Maybe-
to catch a fish on
on a
hairy
clamshell.
spider
And a hairy
clamshell with a hook.
Both
Before you
channels
keep
just
going.
went totally divergent. We were all about
Can you
fishing.
put
We
hairy,
just went.
hear me out. Hairy legs
Oh.
on the clamshell with trebles on all corners.
I don't know what happened here. My guy Neil, thank you, brother. I'll hit you up later. Thanks for watching, my friend.
Neil, I apologize for the rest of these guys. Sorry.
I know. I'm sorry. Guys, we're going to end it. We're already over 2 hours. I thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure you guys go follow Burly Fishing. Jeff and Paul, Burly Fishing. They are the dynamic duo, kind of like me and Randy. We appreciate having them on. Two guys who love to fish just like us. They're up in Michigan. We're down here in Iowa. What do you guys have? Anything to close by? Where can we find you at? Where can everybody find you?
You can find us everywhere, every single social media outlet that there is. We do the Burly Fishing Podcast anywhere you find podcasts. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we're on TikTok. It's all at Burly Fishing. And you can follow Paul at Paul_J_glass. Not camera guy Paul yet. He needs to still change his handle, and I'm still going to call him out on it. Just do it. Just do it. Just own it.
And then I wrote it down. It's like the only thing I've ever written down and not done.
It's on it's your forever to-do list.
Yeah.
The things you never clear off your to-do list.
Hey, when you're a dad, the to-do list just diaper. Love ya.
I get it. All right, guys. We're going to end it. Thank you, everybody, for watching tonight. Everybody that donated, everybody that stopped in. We appreciate all of you. So thank you so much for watching. And until next